Make it a clean sweep. I got Dallas 11-6.
He kept it. I know they would say, "Oh, well, he kept the tag applied." He could have kept the tag applied and not straddled homeboy. You know what I mean? He could have moved his leg. So.
Oh, it was fine. It's just.
I'm just saying.
Ramirez just had a little.
That wasn't necessary.
Nothing wrong.
He didn't need to get to that extreme. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing wrong.
Bills in a last-second field goal or a last-second touchdown by Aaron Rodgers to take the division.
He's kicking field goals too. I want to bet.
Right?
I want.
Children of the night, what beautiful music they make. And there's also a great song by Johnny Cruz, the host of the Let's Talk Sport.
What is going on, Let's Talk Sports fans? Welcome to another episode of the Let's Talk Sports Show. This is Monday, September 25th. And you know what Monday means? Monday means we got Jim Biringer and we got Jonathan Grishman showing up today. So we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to recap a bunch of the games from yesterday. We're going to talk some hockey with Jim. I'm sure the guys are going to want to talk a little bit of wrestling with him as well, but we're going to go over some NFL and all that stuff. Baseball playoffs the baseball playoffs are right around the corner. So it's coming down to crunch time now. People are just trying to solidify their seedings this last couple weeks of the season. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for checking us out. If you're new, hit the subscribe button, smash that like button, and click on the little bell so you get notifications whenever any of us are going live. Check out our Discord channel. Subscribe to that. Join it. Check out the website, signupexpert.com/let's talk. Yes, I mean, I'm going to go ahead a little bit and just go ahead on a little rant with my Dolphins. How about the Miami Dolphins? A nice, 70-20 ass whooping of the Denver Broncos.
Johnny, it's not a rant if you're like being happy about it. Rant's being mad. Okay.
All right. Well, all right. Well, so then I'm a little frustrated because we could have broken the record, but at the same time, I truly believe in karma. So I like the fact that the coach did not want to have bad juju, bad karma for the team. He already embarrassed Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos. There was no point to add a little salt to the wound and kick that field goal to break the record, even though that would have been pretty cool. But yeah, that was a complete ass whipping. I do not want to hear any more about Tua's ability to play the game or to play quarterback. He's shown over and over again that he can play the game. It's just a matter of keeping him healthy. And shout out to the offensive line. They've been doing a great job of keeping them healthy, keeping them upright, keeping them clean. So I appreciate that. If you're wondering where Nick Botkins is, I think he's still streaking somewhere because he's so happy about Jordan Love pulling that comeback. So he doesn't have to do the who dat chant as far as for the Saints because he had a little bet going on with Jonathan Grishman. I'm sure we'll talk about that later. But Nick will be back for the second hour. And I think there's no way Tanner's going to let me steer this boat for that long. So he'll be with us momentarily, I'm sure, in the next half hour or so. But he's doing his coaching thing. So shout out to Tanner. Good job with that, taking care of the kids. So let me get the guys up here on the show so that I'm not just rambling up here by myself. Without a doubt, we've got our Hall of Famer here. Man, it is. If you want to make some money, like I was able to make some money this past weekend, so he helped me out. But listen to his advice. He doesn't play around when it comes to betting. He doesn't play around when it comes to fantasy. Check out if you're new, subscribe, smash the like, click on the little bell so you get notifications. The Scott Cobe Show is going to be having a daily fantasy football show. It's going to be every Thursday at 7:00. So definitely check that out. Beginning this Thursday coming up, me and Scott are going to have a lot of fun. I'll give you a bunch of tips, and Scott's going to help you win some money and win in your fantasy league. So let me bring him in here, the Hall of Famer, Mr. Scott Cope.
What up, bud? By the way, Raheem Mostert just ran down the street for another touchdown, just so you know. So
yeah, I think he just passed by Nick. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Nick is streaking. He's happy as hell that Jordan Love brought his team back there for that win. What are your thoughts about yesterday? I mean, it was an interesting day in the NFL. We had a few blowouts. We had a couple of tight games. What are your overall thoughts? Your Patriots with a big win against the Jets there. So, what are your thoughts about the NFL yesterday?
I'll go into my Cowboys rant later and my other rant later on the closing thoughts. I have a few of those, but
I'm gonna have to make sure I take notes since I don't know what a rant is.
Ronald Reagan Jr. came on and said that's not a rant.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, Nancy and I.
So yeah, I mean, it was a full day of upsets. The Texans beat the Jaguars yesterday. The Jaguars looked terrible, absolutely terrible. That division is totally up for grabs now. Colts beating the Ravens yesterday. I know that was one of your bets, as we said pre-show, but that was kind of a surprise. And the Cowboys just, I don't know what the heck they were doing yesterday, but that was unbelievable. I will say this: if Brandon Staley's not fired by the bye week, he ought to be for that call, that fourth down call in his own territory yesterday. That was ridiculous. He's lucky he won the game yesterday. He's lucky Kirk Cousins just forgot that the clock was running yesterday. So, and tonight, I'm watching the Cincinnati game. Burrow does not look like he's opening up at all. So that calf injury is definitely a bother for him. So,
yeah, I'm actually surprised he's even in the game. If it's going to hamper him that way. But you're right about the surprises yesterday. Shout out to the Indianapolis Colts for keeping my parlay alive and giving me the opportunity to win a little something. So I appreciate that. But Arizona was ready for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if the Dallas Cowboys went into it a little bit too confident, thinking, oh, well, it's Arizona. We're going to go down there and whip that ass. Arizona had another thing coming for the Dallas Cowboys. It was a lot of fun. James Conner running, angry. It was a lot of fun to see that. Sorry, Alan. You know what I'm saying? Alan Perales, of course, the big time Dallas Cowboy fan. He was a little in his feelings last night, but he'll be all right. He was trying to distract everybody and start talking baseball during a football show, but it is what it is.
That's part of my rant too. Wait a minute. I thought. Well, let's get into this now. We can bring Sam on if you want to bring him on too.
All right. No, the one and only Mr. First Down himself, host of Fanboy Unleashed, a big time Tennessee Titans fan. This is one of the coolest dudes out there. Nobody better than Mr. First Time himself, Mr. Sam Dean. What's going on, Sam?
Oh, Johnny, how you doing? Now, if you want to hear a rant, I got a rant for you right here. Okay.
Before you go, Sam, let me ask you guys something.
Oh, I have to stop this volcano from erupting? That was my flow, bro.
So what
is my flow?
Well, no, the volcano will erupt later. But when a show says late night wrap up NFL show, the Texas Rangers part of the NFL all of a sudden. Did I miss something?
You shouldn't talk about them on a football show. It's silly to do. Right? It's silly.
That's what I'm saying.
I have to agree with
that.
So
watching the show at the beginning, and Rob and Johnny asked Alan how he was doing after the Cowboys lost, and all of a sudden he went to a Texas Rangers thing. I didn't know they played football.
Yeah, I think that was his way of psychologically psyching himself out and trying to get the Cowboys. Right. You know what I'm saying? You got to take it like a man. You know what I'm saying? They got embarrassed.
I'm sure Sam was pissed off yesterday about the Titans.
I was livid. And you know what? Ed's going to come in with his little smart-ass comments, and that's fine with me. I deserve it. So, but that doesn't even begin to describe the problems with my team at the moment. So,
well, I mean, go ahead and have at it, man. If you got a rant, because it looks like we're going to be full of rants. Because I think our first guest is going to have himself a little something too.
You went up to the mistake by the lake. You had the better. You had supposedly the better team. That team that beat the Chargers didn't go up there. They didn't go up there. They were not crisp, and your offensive line was absolutely dummied. They were dummied by the defensive line. And then they kept calling plays. Look, I'm not going to blame the refs for it. I never will. But they started getting frustrated because of some calls, and then they just gave up. And then two mistakes, and you let Deshaun Watson throw a touchdown, pointing up at God like God's proud of everything he's done today, Deshaun. Anyway, I guarantee you he's not. But it's just absolutely pathetic. The Titans got outcoached. They got outplayed on every facet of the game. And it's very rare for a Mike Vrabel team to do that. And it stunk. Yeah. And now, to Vrabel's credit, he came out and said it. And he's like, we were not ready. They prepared for one thing. They were the other. You got to hand it to Kevin Stefanski. You got to hand it to Jim Schwartz. They were ready to roll. And Stefanski is 2-0 against Mike Vrabel. Ryan Day this Sunday is 3-0 against Mike Vrabel. So if you're going to get a monkey off your back, now's the time, because look, you're this fan base. You know, we were expecting the fire sale to happen before the season started, and we were going to be in a rebuilding year. But then you tried to sell us that we're going to get one more year out of Tannehill, one more year out of Henry. I have zero expectation right now, and this fan base is absolutely zero. And I tell you what, if you lose against Cincinnati, you're going to have to start making decisions, bud, because this is just absolutely ridiculous for you to go up there. And I'm talking to Vrabel. Like, you can't go up there and try to sell me that, everything's all hunky-dory, because it obviously isn't. Indifferent.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that was actually pretty surprising. I mean, we've all got much respect for Mike Vrabel as a head coach. So for him to get out-coached by Stefanski was a little surprising. Even though, shout out to Big Mike of the Man Cave. We had him on yesterday's pregame show, and
Big Mike's an awesome dude.
Yeah, we talked about Stefanski having to let Deshaun Watson kind of just let it loose, let it rip, especially with the injury to Chubb. And he did that. Deshaun Watson had his best game. But I think, like you mentioned, I think it was more the Cleveland defense. I mean, your boy Derrick Henry, 11 carries, 20 yards. Tannehill, 13 for 25, 104 yards, but that's.
But by the way, for everybody out there that wants to blame Tannehill, he hung in there that game. There was nothing going on for him.
Right. He was just that's one thing about Tannehill is he will stand in that pocket and he will face the rush coming in because he has no pocket presence anyway. But he will stand in there and he will take the hit head on and try to make the throw. So I'll give him that. But if you have no running game, he's worthless, bro. To be completely honest, if he has no way to play action,
he is pretty much a less accurate Joe Burrow during this game right now. Like, that's what he is.
Yeah, and as I said, Joe Burrow's not letting it go at all. He's very tentative in the pocket.
You're going to sit back there with three safeties all night. Yeah, that's what you're going to do, and you're going to make him try to run around and throw it and get Jamar chasing those quick grabs. So far, so good. But we'll see.
So, Johnny, I think Derrick Henry's
awesome, Johnny. 70 points. That's amazing. That I couldn't happen to a better team, better coach than Sean Payton. Yes. And I'm very curious to what Denver's going to do. I mean, God. How much are you paying Russell Wilson?
I was about to say that there's not really much they can do. And then that was the thing. I spoke to Alex about it a little earlier. Shout out to Alex TX_TSB, my co-host of Let's Talk Miami Dolphins, the Aqua and Orange.
Love Alex, cool dude.
Every Monday night, 7:00. Definitely check that out. But we discussed Xavier Howard got interviewed, and he mentioned that he felt it was a little disrespectful. Sean Payton kept Russell Wilson in for the entire game. So your team is down 50, and he left Russ out there to just have to deal with it. I don't know about disrespectful, but that was all kinds of messed up. So what are you guys' thoughts about? What are you guys' thoughts about that? Is that Sean Payton basically saying I don't like my quarterback?
So two things. Number one, what the hell was he doing out there in a 40-point game? That's your starting quarterback. What are you doing out there? I don't understand. He must have did something. He must have talked bad about Sean Payton or something, because that's the other thing. Denver plays Chicago this coming week, right? They're selling tickets.
You can't lose that one.
I think it's at Denver. They're selling tickets. You can get tickets for as low as $2.11 for that game.
Oh my God.
Are you kidding me?
That's like 2013 Titans. I remember those days.
You could get tickets, and they're not way top. They're like in the top section, but they're down close to the row one for $2.11. It's unbelievable.
It's in Chicago. That's insane.
Oh, it's in Chicago.
Bro.
Okay.
That's wild.
So Sean Payton has never been an extra protection kind of guy, though, when it comes to play calling. He likes to get his guys out there to get a catch ball, an extra tight end, an extra wide receiver. He'll take it. Another guy that was like that was Bruce Arians. No protection, no risk it, no biscuit, right? We've all heard it. Sean comes from that same kind of tree. He's a little more calculated than he is. But Sean Payton has, I don't know. I mean, I feel like he's lost his mojo. Maybe it comes back after he figures out what he can do. But I mean, this Denver team looks lost, absolutely lost. And I don't know how you're gonna resurrect that thing. And that offensive lineman day broke my heart. I've been here 6 years and I've lost every single year. I mean, that's awful. That is just awful. It hurt me.
Yeah, we beat down on the Chicago Bears thing pretty bad yesterday. And that was a funny comment Nick made last night on the postgame show, talking about it goes all the way from the top down to from the owner at the top all the way down to the janitor who forgot to lock the storage closet, and they want to get a bunch of equipment and stuff stolen from them. So the Chicago Bears are just a complete embarrassment. But yeah, it couldn't happen to a nicer person. 70 points on Sean Payton. I made a comment to you guys, like I said, that Mike McDaniel has a little bit of pettiness in him, and I love it. If he had an opportunity to blow him out, he was going to blow him out. I did not expect 70 points, but you could tell Denver they didn't want to play anymore after the third quarter.
No, they were done.
What I'm saying? It just, he didn't go for the record, which again, I believe in karma. So I like the fact that he didn't want to put any bad juju on us. So I'm good with the way that ended up there. But everybody here had a rant so far, and our first guest
Can I introduce him?
has a little something that he needs to say himself. This dude right here, not for nothing, he's one of my favorite people to hear him speak about whatever. You know what I'm saying? He is the Encyclopedia Britannica of every sport possible. Full court press with the hockey, full court press, wrestling. My man knows tennis. He talks about every freaking sport, and he knows exactly what he's saying about everything. And I'm sure he's got something to say about some NFL football. So let's bring in the one and only Mr. Jim Biringer.
He's not a dummy. Yeah. No dummy here. Yeah.
Yeah. No dummies here, boys.
No dummies.
No,
Yeah.
sir.
Hit the button,
Yeah.
Jim. Yeah.
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 Dummy. Yeah.
What's going on, bro?
What is up, Johnny? What is up, Scott? Sammy, what's
up?
going on, boys?
Oh,
Look, it's great to be here with my maniacs. Johnny's hosting right now. This is great because usually he's left out of the conversation.
Iceberg, baby. Right into the iceberg.
Yeah, but he's usually left out of the conversation when we start talking. So the fact that he's going to be firing questions tonight makes my heart happy because I love talking sports with this cat. Thank you for the lovely introduction. Here with my maniacs, I'm right off the top. I'm bringing in guns blazing. If you guys saw my Twitter, if you guys saw my Twitter today, I reposted, quote tweeted some dude who was talking to NFL people about it's disrespectful to the game throwing up a 70 spot. Bro, I don't want to hear about disrespect. Stop the team from putting up a 70 spot on you. Play some defense. Don't be an embarrassment. Like, that was awful. How many, you and I, all of us who watch this show, we all watch ESPN, all these talk show guys. We see all the pros on these things. What do they all say? You got a problem with it? Stop them. Like, go and stop them. Right. Because here's my problem. We don't think it's okay in the pros, but week 1 of college football, week 2, 3, it's all about style points. How many points can you hang up on some Division 1A team? And how often can your quarterback throw for 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, all this stuff? You can't have it both ways. It's either bad or it's good. And for me, go stop them. You don't want to get 70 points thrown up on you? Then go stop them. And by the way, dude, Dolphins offense, scary. Like, scary. Scary good.
Johnny, let me say this to Jim's point. If they go up to Buffalo and they put like 35 up and they win like 35-20, everybody's gonna have to start thinking that the Dolphins are going at least to the AFC Championship game this year, if not to the Super Bowl. Because if you go into Buffalo and win that game convincingly,
and they should have won the divisional game last year. Let's be honest, the playoff game they should have won. Yeah. Let's be honest.
Right. With the 7th round rookie quarterback, they had an opportunity to win. I mentioned it to Scott earlier. We ran all over Buffalo in all 3 games last year, and for some reason, Mike McDaniel kind of got away from the run late in a couple of those ball games, including that playoff game. So I think he mentioned that he learned his lesson about it.
And we saw it yesterday. Yes. We saw it yesterday. Yeah. 2 guys running for what? 4 touchdowns?
Yeah. The Devon A. Chain, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rushing and 2 receiving, and then Raheem Mostert 3 touchdowns rushing and 1 receiving. So
disgusting.
And
disgusting.
Tyreek
well, we know added, what. Yo, go ahead.
Tyreek added 9 for 157 and a touchdown. Just a little something from Tyreek Hill. Just his usual thing. He's on a mission to get that 2,000, but I'm with you on that. If you got a problem with it, stop them. You know what I'm saying? So. But Sean Payton is known for doing that to other people. John Harbaugh is another one who has no shame in running up the score. So I don't want to hear about any type of disrespect. Like, again, if you have a problem, stop them.
Football is a game of intimidation. Always has been. Mm-hmm. Like I hate this little whiny crowd. They're a small, minuscule thing, but it seems like on social media they have a blowhorn, right? A bullhorn, you know?
Yeah.
Freaking letting it loose. Yeah, give me a break.
What were they saying about the Patriots all those years when Brady, Moss, and Welker were there, and they were putting 40 and 50 points up the
He's the GOAT, bro. He's the GOAT.
Yeah, well,
but still they were complaining. They were still complaining.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And Bill was notorious for that too. Bill loved to run up the score on people. So
did anybody remember 2019? I do. When Mike Vrabel did the time clock trick to Bill Belichick that he had done to every team.
Yes.
Yeah, of course he did it. And then he can go up there and go, I would have done it against anybody. You're full of crap, Vrabel. You enjoyed it.
You enjoy it. Dude, Belichick comes from the Saban Parcells school. Like, go put as many points up as you can because somebody's going to do it to you as well. So, I mean, like to me, I don't want to hear about disrespect for the game. You want to talk about disrespectful? Go play some defense. Like, what's happening in Denver is disgusting. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, Sean Payton's talking bad about Nathaniel Hackett. Now, Nathaniel Hackett needs to show me what he's like as an offensive coordinator because, let's be honest, Zach Wilson is not good. Zach Wilson on any team – I don't want to hear about the argument. Same with Daniel Jones. These guys just have to understand timing and getting the ball out of your hand and reading your routes better. I don't care what offensive line is tackling. These guys just can't make the throws.
Yep.
Yeah. I made a comment last night. I mean, Wilson, he just doesn't look like an NFL quarterback, man. He's just not an NFL quarterback. He can't see the field. There were guys wide open, and he holds on to the ball. Your Giants. We might as well touch on your Giants real quick before we move on to any other stuff. I mean, I know you picked San Francisco, which was a smart bet. You know what I'm saying? So you won that one. I think we all picked San Francisco. So
I would hope so. I hope so.
Yeah. What is going on with your Giants? What do they need to do to try to get this somewhat fixed? Is there anything they can do to try to kind of get this fixed?
I mean, that's a good question. I mean, to me, I think it starts with their offensive line. I think that's something that you have to work on. I mean, we've been preaching about it for years. I mean, why was the big reason they won them Super Bowls all the time? They protected Eli. I know you can make the argument he was in the grass or whatever, but still, that's good on the referee in that Super Bowl. Though Scott may disagree. You don't call it in the grass there, but again, you can make the argument that you can do it. But they protected him. They were able to open holes and run the football, right? So that's what you got to do. Not having Saquon is an issue. But here's my biggest thing. I was on the show last week, and you can clip it, whatever, TikTok it, Twitter, whatever. It don't matter. Jalen Hyatt needs to be incorporated into this offense. You drafted him for a reason. Yes. I will say this again. He single-handedly beat Nick Saban's Alabama team last year. I know he had a different quarterback, Hayden Hooker. I know. The dude can get any ball. Like, throw it his way. Like, get him involved somehow. I don't care. Wide receiver sweeps. I don't care. The dude is electric. He's a difference maker. He can spread the field. He can do things the Giants have not done in a while. Now, again, the quarterback. Can the quarterback get him the ball? How much time is he going to... Again, look what the Dolphins are doing. Mike McDaniel realized the only way to protect Tua, get the ball out of his hands quicker.
Exactly.
Daniel Jones has to get the ball out of his hands quicker.
Do you put it more on... Hold on, real quick, Scott. Do you put it more on Daniel Jones or on Brian Dable not scheming it to help him get the ball out of his hands quicker? Like you mentioned, some wide receiver screen, just because that kid is electric. I love that kid's abilities. And like you said, get the ball in his hands, even if it's a jet sweeps.
Yards after carry is so good.
Right. So is it Brian Dable not scheming it right, or is it just Daniel? It's just he just can't play the position, bro.
I think it's a combination. I mean, Brian Dable says he wasn't calling plays last week, and then what happened this week if he wasn't calling plays? Because he was calling plays against Arizona in that comeback. So they just went back to the offensive coordinator. Again, I think it's a combination of both, but you got to read. You got to be able to read. But again, the timing. Like, the offensive line is just getting... I mean, look, you went up against the two of the best defenses in 3 weeks. And it's not going to get any easier. It's not getting any easier with any of these defenses. But the offensive line has to be able to protect. Like, they have to give him time. I know Saquon not being there hurts. I get it. But, again, I think a couple guys made the point. It's like, look, you paid Daniel Jones to be the guy, but they didn't pay him to be the guy that can be the difference maker. You see all these quarterbacks getting like $70, $100 million guaranteed. He got what, 40 million, like whatever he got a season. Like all these other guys are getting close to 80 million a season, and he didn't. But again, at the 5th overall pick, the progression has to be there. He does not show he had a great season last year. The Giants did. But you got to show the steps, and he's just not showing it. Again, people who follow me know this is not low-hanging fruit for me. This is me not jumping on this. Since day one, the draft, I did not like this pick. Did not. Because the Giants, I was about to say that, the Giants need more help than this. And I think they made a mistake not paying Barkley. I really do. I think they should have paid Barkley first and this guy.
Yeah.
I
think they should have tagged Daniel Jones, but go ahead.
Yes.
So here's my question, Jim, with Giants. When are they going to start paying for slot supposed receivers? They need to get a number one out. Jalen Hyatt's a great start for them. Okay. Drafting Hyatt was a phenomenal pick. They need to bring in another outside wide receiver that's going to be able to be leaned on by Daniel Jones, because right now he has a bunch of nobodies in the receiving corps. Darren Waller was their big splash, and he's been a failure so far this year. He hasn't done much of anything, and that's because Daniel Jones just doesn't either have the time in the pocket, or he's not a quarterback that can get Waller the ball consistently. So they need to find a wide receiver that they can lean on, whether it be in the draft, in free agency. Because these Sterling Shepherds and Wan'Dale Robinsons and Paris Campbell
and the Slaytons and the list goes on of guys that are good slot receivers. And the only reason they're good slot receivers is because you have a guy that can stretch the field. Why was Victor Cruz so good?
Right.
Burris was there. Somebody else could stretch the field.
Yeah.
You could. That's why those slot guys are so good, is because you have a guy that's a deep threat.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the Giants.
Welcome, Tanner.
Tanner, what's up?
Good to have you, bro.
I'm bothering this poor man about the New York stupid Giants right now. Like, this guy should not be having to talk, because there's other things out there going on than the New York Giants to talk about.
Well, you missed the legend.
We are not forcing Jim to talk about anything.
Yeah.
The floor is his. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said,
Tanner loves to
I
spit on us
listen
from
to
such
Jim
a height.
read the
So
yellow
I
pages,
do have a
It could be
hockey
the
question.
Chicago Bears we talk about. And I mean, that
Yeah,
even works.
Oh,
Wow.
I've been watching
Wow.
preseason, just in case everybody forgets, preseason hockey has kicked off.
Yes,
Yes.
it
Yes.
The Rangers played the Bruins the other night, and Jonathan Quick is the new Rangers goaltender.
Backup goalie.
Backup goalie. Do you think he can win the job, the number one job for the Rangers?
No. Wait.
So much for
No,
A.
fam. No, fam.
So much for A.
That's not even. There's not. First of all, he was brought in to be the backup. A. B. Igor Shesterkin is not relinquishing the number one starter position. And if Quick is starting for the Rangers, that means Shesterkin's hurt, and the Rangers have no shot at making the playoffs.
Bless you.
Yeah,
now, what's his name?
They were very underwhelming on offense last night. I watched the Bruins.
It's preseason.
I know it's preseason, but
it's preseason. I mean, look, I was about to say that for on this thing. Calgary,
Have
Let
you
it
met
fly,
Nick?
man.
Have you met Nick?
no. Gotta stay pro.
You watch your fucking mouth, Jim. Okay.
What do you think about the Bruins making Marchand captain? That's the other question I had.
You know what? I like that move. I like that move.
Come on.
I like that move. I like that move. Look, he's there. 2 years left on his deal. I think that's the progression you want to have. You go from Char to Bergeron to Marchand. The guy's been there probably the longest.
Yes.
And then maybe McAvoy's not ready, or you think most likely this means Marchand's going to get his extension next summer, and they're just going to make him captain until he's out the door, and the next guy up. Like, I think it's a great move. I think it's the only move. You could have gone McAvoy. Pasternak's not the guy. He's the style guy, but I think Marchand, to me, this tells me the kid's matured enough, and he's over the licking stuff, and he's over the agitation, and he's ready to take the leadership role for this Bruins team that could be a team that gets into the playoffs, may not get in the playoffs. So who knows? I still think they'll battle for a wild card. I think that's where they were last year. That's where I had them, and then they just went off on that thing. But again, for me, the Bruins, again, they got good defense, good goaltending. Let's see down the middle. But, look out. Look out for the Bruins. They're always a threat in the Atlantic Division. As far as Quick goes, like I said, he's a backup goalie. I was not a fan of them signing him. I just didn't see it, how it fits there for this team. You still had a lack. You could have brought in, the way the contracts they worked with bottom guys, that you could have saved that money, got a quality backup goaltender, because Shesterkin's going to need nights off again. It's preseason. I mean, look, Calgary hung a 10 spot on the Canucks last night, 10-0. And Rick Tocchet comes out and he's like, I feel like Sean Payton right now. I'm like, bro, it doesn't mean anything. It's the preseason. It don't mean nothing. Like, it really, to me, like any sport, the preseason doesn't mean nothing. To me, it really doesn't. Look, the Devils are playing right now. They're killing the Flyers, and they're playing well against Montreal. They've scored 10 goals combined in both games. The guys are flying. But again, it's preseason. Like, again, the real game's starting a little bit.
What do you think about the games in, I think it was Australia, right?
That was awesome.
You like the atmosphere?
I loved it. I mean, it's different.
I don't think so either, K-Days.
I mean, look, it was cool to see it down there. Stayed up to watch like 5 minutes of the game because I just want to see what Rod Laver Arena looked like as a hockey venue, because it's a tennis venue. So it was cool. I mean, Kings, Yotes. I mean, I tell everybody I'd rather be going there now. And, some team, the Bruins were supposed to go down there, talk to somebody. They're like, we don't want to go screw up everything for us. I was like, I'd rather go now than in November when teams have to go to Sweden and stuff. I know it's a cool experience and everything, but I'd rather do it now because at least I have a little bit more time to acclimate myself coming back to North America. But again, I think it's cool. These Global Series games are cool. So, I mean,
I do as well.
We got Mr. K-Days wants to ask a question here. He's from England. He's an NFL soccer fan, Premier League. Do you think the NFL could benefit from a league pyramid system like soccer? For example, the bottom three are relegated to the lower league, and the top three are, of the lower league promoted to the NFL. No, man. I'm saying the NFL don't. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
The NFL.
We just keep walking, right now, but it's what we love. It's why we're here.
The thing that doesn't, why it wouldn't work too is like teams that should be at the bottom. Like the Colts are currently sitting first place. And then, you would get literally probably the Browns some years, most likely the Raiders for most as well. I mean, I didn't say Tennessee.
I know
Raiders,
you're being very
teams,
gentle with me, Tanner. I appreciate that.
You would have certain teams though, like sitting outside of the NFL for quite a long time. In that range, if you do that, but you need more teams to be able to do that as well. You got
exactly.
The Bears,
you know?
the Bears would
Lions,
be the
Tigers,
Bears.
Bears, oh bye.
32. You know.
Yeah, I mean, look, the NFL has it right. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is why it's the most popular league in the world. Look, it's smart by the NFL to just throw another Monday night game at fans on ABC because there's the writer's strike. Like that is like the biggest.
That's a power flex.
That's a power flex like I've ever seen.
That was a flex. That was a good flex.
That was a great flex by them. I love it. I love the move by the NFL doing that. So I mean, look,
not a dummy. Not
a dummy. Yeah. But look, it's the best league in the world. Everybody loves it. Look, you got college too. Everybody loves that. I mean, what a weekend that was in college football. Awesome stuff with the games. 7-pack of great games. Even other games were awesome. So, I mean, look, North America, football is king. It doesn't matter if it's Saturday or Sunday. It just rules, period.
Yeah. Hey, Jonathan, good to see your return here in the comment section. I haven't seen you in a while, so glad.
Is it good?
Yeah,
it's good.
It's good. It's good to see him back in.
It's always good. It's always good to see.
Unfortunately, the guy that he likes to bother isn't here right now. Because it's really fun when Nick's here.
Yeah,
so.
Nick will be here after
it's good to see Jonathan's flex.
Right, I know.
He said you have to be out of the
flexing
NFL
his muscles again, isn't it?
Yeah, right. Hey, Jim, I want to talk about it here. I didn't get a chance to quite finish it yet, but I did start it today. You had a day ago in your full press NHL podcast that you do, which is very informational, especially for me as I'm really starting to develop a team here and getting into this again. You talked about what's going on in Tampa, Toronto, and I didn't catch at the beginning during the intro music. There was a couple press conferences clips that were played about a guy not being extended, I believe, right?
Yes.
What was that all about, and why is it such a big impact?
So, if you guys didn't catch the clips at the beginning, it was Steven Stamkos talking about why he was so disappointed. This is now, granted, this is day one, last Wednesday, right? Day one of training camps. Everybody's coming in for their physicals, right? You're going to do the bike. You're going to do all this stuff. By the way, did that in college. I hate that bike. Like, I hate that bike. That thing is, that test is awful. Hate that. But it's all right. So Stamkos comes in, just asks a casual question about his contract. He just comes out guns blazing, like drops this lightning bomb hammer. He's like, yeah, I'm disappointed that there's been no contract talks. I have no extension. I really wanted it done by the start of training camp. He said that you're going back to, I made management know this is what I wanted. He's like, and then somebody asked him, oh, yeah, or when are you ready to do it? I'm like, whenever. I just can't write the contract myself. And so Breezewell comes back and says, yeah, Steven and I, the general manager, Julian Breezewell, Steven and I are on the same page. We want to win. But, I have to look at the cap and see where everybody's in. But, we're focused on everything right now. And, we got to see how cap dollars are and where everything fits in. And it's like, dude, he's the captain of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Like, this dude could have been a free agent, could have gone to Toronto in 2016. Yeah. June 29th, never forget that date. Red letter date in the National Hockey League. You had the Adam Larson for Taylor Hall trade, followed by PK Subban for Shea Weber, then Steven Stamkos re-signed in Tampa, all in a matter of 23 minutes. Like, that was an awesome day. Wow. That was crazy. Now, for me, he's an UFA. I don't think he's going to go anywhere, but the fact of the matter is he's told management this. He wants to get this done. He doesn't want it to drag into the offseason. It looks like it's going to get that way. I think this gets settled once the league comes out and says, hey, the cap's going up by X amount of dollars next year. I think they can figure out everything. Look, that'll help Tampa because they'll be able to repackage their bottom line. And, Hedman's doing an extension. But if you look at it, Anthony Cirelli, Braden Point, Nikita Kucherov, Andrei Vasilevsky, Brandon Hagel's the most recent one, but Mikhail Sergachev and Eric Chernak were guys that were extended a year before their contracts were due. And the fact that they've lumped Stamkos into like everybody else just doesn't feel right. He should be above everybody else, as we saw in Toronto. So it's just, it's just a storyline that kind of was like under the radar because no one really talked about his contract extension because everybody's like, oh, it's a foregone conclusion. You know, they'll probably get it done in the summer. It'll be announced, whatever. But then he comes in with that. And if that was Toronto or any place else, we're making a big deal out of it. And we are still making a big deal about it. And I don't think he goes anywhere. But there was talk of Stamkos potentially being that domino that could be moved out when McDonough got traded to Nashville. They're like, well, you know, maybe when Stamkos is up, they may look to go in a different direction. The problem is the cupboard is bare in Tampa. There is no Nikita Kucherov coming. There's no Braden Point coming. There is no Andre Palat, no Tyler Johnson. The triplets that help establish this team is just not there because they keep trading assets away. So you're going to have to re-sign Stamkos, and he's still a very good player that can make this team a winner and maybe win one more championship before their window closes.
Yeah, isn't he basically, besides Vasilevsky, he's the most important player on Tampa. So it's a big deal down here in Tampa Bay. Trust me.
Oh, it is.
They're talking about that, bro.
Yeah, I mean, look, like I said, it was pretty quiet all summer because it wasn't Toronto, it wasn't New York, it wasn't like Winnipeg because everybody took everything up because it was Austin Matthews. Where's Hellebuck going to go? Where these Stamkos kind of flew under the radar. But now it's like at the forefront again of everything. And I think it's died down a little bit. But again, it's going to be a question mark everywhere he goes.
For what he's done for that organization over his time there, he needs to get the contract that he wants and he deserves, because without him in Tampa, they're going to shrink down to the bottom of the barrel again in terms of standings.
Without him, you might as well just start trading off pieces and try to rebuild.
Well, they need to rebuild. I mean, they need to rebuild that cupboard that Brisebois says, well, these guys aren't going to help us right now. That's true, but at a point you need to say, hey, when's the next guy coming?
Right.
Because Pittsburgh, as much as Pittsburgh is windows closing, they still look to, okay, well, who's going to help us down the road? Why is Getzel an impact player? Why did all these guys just step in from Wilkes-Barre, Scranton and help this team stay competitive? Like, you look at, like, New Jersey is different because they went into rebuild mode and they did everything the right way. But teams that are trying to stay competitive also look to the future and say, okay, who's coming along next that can help us continue this pathway? So when the rebuild comes or the retooling comes, we're not actually, always dead last. Now, granted, when you're in that, you want to have a top draft pick. You don't want to be in that middle, that murky middle, like I say. But Tampa, if you lose Stamkos, man, that's a huge blow, like I said, because there's not a lot of guys coming. You still have, Kucherov is still there. Hedman's important. But again, it comes down to dollars and cents. And to me, it just makes the most sense to keep this guy.
Absolutely.
Jim, the Penguins. How many more years does Sidney Crosby, in your mind, have of good to solid hockey in terms of his career?
That's a good question. I mean, maybe a couple years. Maybe I say 2 to 3 good seasons. I know I think he has a couple years left on his deal. Oh, by the way, guys, go to NHL.com. By the way, check the headline about Malkin. I have 3 years left in me to play. Yeah, dude, you have 3 years left on your contract that you think you can still play, buddy. Like, dude, like, come on. Like, let's be real. Like, you have 3, dude. Like, come on. Like, the headline was just
3 more seasons, aiming to play 3 more seasons with the Penguins.
Yeah, dude, you have 3 seasons left on your deal. Yeah, okay, great headline. Like, come on, we're better than that.
He says 3 more years, I hope, quote unquote.
Yeah.
It's like Daniel Jones saying, I'm worth $40 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Jim, can we please get Cena and LA Knight to be a tag team?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll do whatever I can. Put it out in the universe. Cena, LA Knight tag team. But going back to Scott's question about Crosby, I think he's got a couple years left in him. Look, this guy's always improving his game, even at this age. He's still putting up monster points. Face of the franchise, just what a monster he is. One of my favorite players ever to watch. He's so good at what he does. Look, he's going to will his Penguins to potentially get in a playoff spot again. I think they're in a bunch of a bunch of teams that can get in there. So we'll see how Carlson fits. Again, let's see what this team does this year. Going to come down to goaltending and defense for me with the Pittsburgh Penguins. So, but I think Crosby has a couple more years left in him. I think he maybe played a 40 and then he shuts it down and says, all right, I'm done. I'm good. I did everything I could do. Gold medal, Stanley Cups. He'll try to win one more, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I still think Crosby's still – you got to still put him in as one of the top 5 players in the world right now.
Yeah, and Scott, not for nothing, but Skurkin is – him and Vasilevsky are the 2 best goalies in all of hockey, bro.
Who?
So, Igor from
oh,
the
yeah,
Rangers.
Shesterkin and
Vasilevsky are the best goalies in hockey, so I don't see anybody coming in to take his job, bro.
So Tanner, can the Blackhawks make the playoffs this year? Or are they still in that rebuild mode that they talk about this decade?
They got like 7 or 8 more years.
Here's the thing with the Blackhawks. We're in this 10-year rebuild. We're in year 8 now. Year 8.
Right.
Here's the thing. They didn't have me as a fan before. They weren't my team before. Now they're my team. Now they moved up 8 years. Got Connor Bedard. Now we're sitting here comfortable. Now we're comfortable. Now we have a chance to compete because, it is what it is. It's like the KU Jayhawks becoming competitive all of a sudden. There it is. Chicago Blackhawks becoming competitive this year all of a sudden.
I mean, Bedard's special.
Year of 10? Jim, do you think they're in the 8th year of 10 rebuild?
Dude, I mean, this 10-year rebuild's probably going for a while. I think it might have sped up with Bedard. I think it might have sped up by a couple years because of Bedard, because he's just that good and phenomenal. And holy crap, what he can do with the puck.
I thought there was still 8 years left in the rebuild. I thought that's what it was.
No, they've moved the process ahead.
Yeah,
now.
they moved it up, but we moved it up by 2 years. Look, all jokes aside, Connor Bedard's going to be fun to watch in Chicago. I think he's going to play on a line with Taylor Hall. It's going to be really special. Look, he's going to put butts in the seats, jerseys, tickets, everything. Perfect player, good franchise. That's exactly what they needed. Move Kane and Taves gone. Bring in Bedard. Boom, there you go. You're set for life there.
Oh shit! Here's our fearless leader. Finally made it in. You got done.
It was
you
fun,
got done
guys,
with
while it lasted.
I told the guys. You were out streaking after Green Bay came back and won that game for you. So now you won your bet against Jonathan.
I did. That's the only reason I showed up tonight. So I was just waiting for all the goddamn hockey talk to be over with, so I could just rub it in Jonathan's face.
All right.
Well, the hockey talk's not over because
it's not over yet, dude.
Oh,
no, it's not over yet.
No, hold on. If I'm the fearless leader of this fucking bunch, we're all fucked. So,
Nick, we're talking about the Blackhawks rebuild, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah, I caught the tail end, and I was going to ask Jim. So I'm in the search. I'm in the business, much like Sam was in basketball. I'm in the business of looking for a hockey team. So I just don't know what hockey team to pick.
I was like, what?
So,
I mean, it depends. Do you want to be a Matthew McConaughey type guy where you can just be a front runner?
All right.
Or do you want to actually follow a team and be and follow them to the success? Because
you casual, bro. You casual, bro.
So that's my dilemma, Jim. Here's the dilemma. First of all, I would love to tell you I would follow a fucking team, but we all know that's not the fucking truth. So I'm not gonna lie.
No.
So no. I mean, the only time I pay attention to hockey is the 1 hour that you're on, and I follow enough to just make good conversation with you, Jim, which I absolutely fucking love every Monday for the last year and a half.
Me too. I love this.
Our host.
With that being said, here's my dilemma. So I could go with the Blues because I do want to go to hockey games because I've been to minor league hockey and love the atmosphere. But I have I hate St. Louis because of the Cardinals, so it's tough to root for the Blues, right?
Okay.
My allegiance is, I'm a Cubs fan, so there's the Blackhawks. But now Tanner, who I despise, is a Blackhawks fan. So
it's true.
So now
he despises you. Yeah.
Do I?
I mean, do you want to go north of the border?
And
you want to go north of the border?
Oh,
Canada! They absolutely fucking suck. And after the Cubs season, I can't do losing seasons. Like I just can't. I can only have one shitty team. And right now, that might be the Chicago Cubs. So I can't.
The Bulls too, man.
Yeah, the Bulls are shitty too, so let's not even get there. So maybe I just need to stay away from the city of Chicago for a little bit. But so do I. I do like the Blackhawks uniforms. I love the I don't know what the hell to call it, Native American Blackhawk on the jersey.
That's right.
The best jersey. I don't really like. I can't do any East Coast team because I hate the fucking East Coast. No New York, no New Jersey. Sorry, Jim, I love you, but I can't stand anything else other than. So I don't really. Do I go Kraken all the way out to Seattle? Is it the new?
Bro, he said go across the border. You can.
I just said go north of the border.
You can jump on Edmonton.
North of the border is Iowa. There's no hockey team in Iowa yet.
Oh, God.
Comment of the night right there.
Bobby G's on it tonight. Bobby G's feeling it tonight.
We got Jim on this one. Jim, who really reacts to out comments, got Bobby G. Got Jim.
Oh, I missed the comment. What Bobby G say?
I already did. Don't worry about it. Bodkins, fix your toupee, bro. 2 exclamation points. You're looking like you driving unmarked.
Hey, Bobby G, that's not. Hey, Bobby, brother, that's not a toupee, brother. That's just fading. That's the old fading hairline. That's the reason I wear a hat every episode.
Bobby G's feeling it tonight.
That was great. Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate that.
Bobby,
Jim,
we still had this good hair.
Bobby feeling himself after Deshaun.
Yeah, we didn't hear from Bobby G last week when the Browns looked like shit, but here he is putting shit in the comments. The Browns fucking look good for once.
Oh,
how about Edmonton then?
Jim.
No, I don't like Canada. I don't want to do
come
Canada.
back in, reset like the last
I
time.
don't like Canada.
He said he don't like Canada.
Oh, my Lord.
Hey, Jim, you look like Tanner.
This show's going great. We're going to reach a lot of audiences.
Tanner had to get off screen. Jim just dipped on us.
Yeah, Bobby broke his phone, and so now he couldn't get audio. He had to fix his picture. Now he has to reset. So he'll be back in a minute. He did this last week.
Nick, I would go with Seattle. Seattle's going to be in the top.
And they're brand new too, bro.
Yeah, I think
so. I know you don't East Coast, but my other team I wanted was the Carolina because they had like Chiefs, Jayhawks kind of killers.
Yeah. I don't really. I'll probably, I'll pick the Blackhawks because I just have allegiance to the city of Chicago.
You might as well, dude. Just say what Chicago.
Yeah, I was about to say fuck what Tanner wants. You know what I'm saying? That's your team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're
me
Chicago.
Me and Tanner will now form a new allegiance, even though we kind of created this whole fucking thing. A new allegiance.
Easy alliance.
We will.
Full of
this is when Hulk Hogan and Randy the Macho Man join forces, the Mega Forces.
The Mega Powers.
Yes, the Mega Powers joining together. We're both going to be Blackhawk fans this year and enjoy the misery. The good thing is we won't have to pay a whole lot of fucking attention because they'll be at it after the first month. So I'm going to root for them and the Kraken. Can I do that, Jim?
I mean, you can root for the Kraken and the Blackhawks. I was going to give you a couple teams across the border. I mean, you could root for this.
Canada. I'm American.
Senators look good this year, man. Or you can go to Buffalo, right near the border. They're a good team. They're going to be hot to watch. I mean, those teams are going to be fun to watch this year.
Is the Blackhawks and the Kraken in the same conference?
Yes.
Okay, so I can't choose the Kraken. I'll go Buffalo. That sounds cool. I like their fans seem cool. So I'm gonna go Blackhawks and we'll go Sabres. Is my team.
All right.
One of these conference.
Fair.
Let's go.
That's fair. Well, Tanner also asked me what was up in Toronto. So what's going on in Toronto is outside of Austin Matthews getting a new contract, William Nylander needs a new contract as well. But he basically said he's been saying this all summer. He's like, look, I'm here to play hockey. I'm going to take care of it at the end of the year. I don't want to talk about it anymore. He basically came out and said, hey, guys, I told you how I feel. I want to stay here. Please stop asking me about this. The general manager the same day comes out and says, look, I'm not giving you a daily play-by-play about contract negotiations. He wants to stay. We want him to stay. That's it. End of story. But we know with the Canadian markets and the Canadian media, that's what they want to talk about. Like we see in Winnipeg, like we see in Vancouver and Calgary. You see this, the guys are being asked about it, and they're like, we don't, stop asking us about it. We told you, we just want to play hockey. We'll take care of it. We see Hellebuck saying, hey, all I want to do is win a Stanley Cup. Either it's here or it's with another team. It doesn't matter. Pedersen's being asked why you keep asking me about this, because this is a storyline. Because if your team's not good, this is what I want to talk about. So now where you see that Toronto has handled it the right way with the media, basically shut it down. Like, you're not talking about it anymore. And now the new discussion's about, well, Nylander's going to play center. How's this going to affect his contract? How's this going to affect his contract? It's like, dude, let's see how the kid does. If he does well, puts up the points as he does, then he's going to be a $10 million player. If he doesn't, well, we'll figure it out then.
Can Toronto break through and get to the conference finals this year? Or are they still going to mess it up?
They'll still mess it up.
Think?
They got rid of their GM.
Still
Now he's in
messing.
Pittsburgh.
So the Maple Leafs.
I don't know. Look, to me, it's a different team. It's a different year. These guys have to figure it out in the playoffs. This seems a great regular season team. You've heard it all, but they got to make a deep run in the playoffs. There's no second round is not good enough anymore, and the way they went out is just awful. So maybe with the additions of.
No, we lost him.
We're losing him.
He's like sideways.
Jim's sideways now.
Yeah, you're still muted. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
It's still off. Audio issues, man. I love StreamYard sometimes. I think StreamYard sometimes it glitches out. I've been noticing more and more. Keep it simple, man. Just keep it simple. You know what I mean?
Nick's in the home away from home tonight, I guess, huh?
Yeah. I'm in Branson, Missouri, home of old fucks. So,
hey, Mike was just there.
Cool music scene there, bro.
Yeah, if you're 65 and above, Scott, you would love it here.
Do you want me and Keith to make a road trip to Branson?
That's got to be a clip. That's got to be a clip.
I swear to God, I was walking down through the lobby of the hotel. There was 5 60-year-old women down here. I was about to ask whose bachelor party or funeral it was, and I was going to send you your phone number.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah, we got you. We got it.
Hey, Lord. Jim, I got a question for you, bro. Is there a
Toronto's still gonna mess it up. Look, it's a different team. Bertuzzi, Domi, all those guys are there, but look, it's gonna be a different team. Let's see what happens. But again, do great regular season, but you got to make a deep run in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Is there a team that nobody's talking about, but that you think could make a little bit of noise and surprise some people this year?
I mean, I know a lot of people are always talking about Ottawa. I mean, so I can't really say that. I mean, Buffalo is there too. That everybody's hot on Buffalo this year. I know everybody's hot on Jersey, Carolina, because those are everybody's like. But to me, I think a team you need to watch is Calgary, because this team, I think, is going to have a bounce back here. I really do. I know everybody's saying, Seattle, but I think there's going to be 5 teams from the Pacific that make the playoffs, and I think Calgary's one of them, just because, Jacob Markstrom, I think, is going to get over his demons from Edmonton from that series. Huberdeau looks like a different player. The system looks better for him, and you know what? Hey, I think that's a team that you don't want to sleep on, because they were only 2 points out of making the playoffs last year, and if they could have won some games, they probably knocked Winnipeg out. So I think Calgary's a team you don't want to sleep on this year.
Nice. Is the Pacific the best division in hockey this year by far? Do you think?
It has to be. If 5 teams can make it.
The 5 teams going to make it then.
I mean, Pacific's pretty good. Atlantic's pretty good this year too, because Buffalo's coming, Detroit's coming. You have Ottawa's there. All those teams are improved. You have Metro's pretty good too. I mean, but I think the Pacific's going to be the most competitive for sure, along with the Atlantic. So I'll put those 2 teams, 2 divisions together.
Jim, I want to ask you: is there a team, much like in football, like we see a worst to first every year and first to worst every year, damn near every year in football? Is there 2 teams that was that could go first to worst and worst to first?
Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah, exactly. Say that 10 times fast. Look, it's so hard because it's different in hockey than it is in the NFL. The way the draft and everything is set up and the way players come along. I mean, look, we saw Florida. We kind of know what they are.
This connection's really going sideways.
See, we had no problems. We had no problems before Nick got here.
Oh, don't blame
God
me.
damn it, Nick.
Do not
Are you in Nick's house, Jim?
Yeah, Jim, are you at my house? Because that's where the
You
internet
lost-
is up.
Look at Tanner up on his throne up there. He's like,
Dude,
come forth, peasants.
I don't know if you guys are paying attention
There he
here,
is.
but
He's back.
there's a first place matchup right now between Carlos and I, the Let's Talk Sports League right now.
It's
back
going to
and
come
forth
right
here.
down to the wire. Yeah.
He has Higbee. I got DeAndre Swift, and it's less than a 1-point game right now.
Nick and I are close too right now.
Tanner, you had two Monday
I'm
night
first place.
come down
I'm playing
to the
Ryan.
ends.
I know, Monday night again. And then my other league the same way, Scott. Down to the Monday night game.
What'd you say, Nick?
I said I'm playing Ryan. I'm not playing you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
you're
I
not
thought that was you.
Yeah,
Okay,
same.
my
Yeah, I'm
bad.
playing Rob. We're the heavyweight
okay.
matchup of the week. Two 0-for teams going against each other.
Yeah, none of your guys' matches worry
gonna
me
win.
because I got
I'm gonna
beat
win.
first place
Mine's
here.
over now. Mine's over. I took the
Yeah,
dub from.
You destroyed Matt or Ryan, whoever.
What do
Yes,
you win by
I
8
did
by Ryan? 8 points.
Huh?
That's it.
Throw
You
it.
didn't destroy
What?
him.
Yeah,
Oh,
I won.
Higbee
God.
just scored a touchdown, Tanner.
Yeah,
Maybe.
he did. Yeah, no,
Maybe
he
not.
got it. Oh
Who did?
no!
I got the
They called a
Bengals.
timeout, I think.
They did. Oh my God, they're so lucky.
Yo,
Yep.
Jim's back in, bro. Let's
Yeah, here
let's get him in
Hey,
here.
hey.
Hey,
Back.
what's up? What's up?
Hey.
What's
There
up?
he is.
It's so hard to say because you don't know. I mean, it's hockey's different and everything. So, I mean, we'll see what happens this year. I mean, if I had to say there was a team that potentially could do it, I think it's not worse to first, but I think it's worse to potentially make it playoffs. You know, again, we go back to Pacific. Is Vancouver a team that could do it? Because, you know, they have a lot of decent squad. They have a good team. You look at maybe St. Louis in the Central, or you go to do you go to a Metro and say, hey, maybe Columbus can battle its way in there because of everything that went on? So there's so many factors this year because the NHL, if you look at it, there's good teams and there's bad teams, and then there's the murky middle. But maybe a team like Nashville, you never know. I'm hearing a lot of good things coming out of camp right now with Barry Trotz and what he's doing, Andrew Brunette,
That's
the young
awesome.
guys. So, I mean, you know, I don't know if they make the playoffs, but Nashville's going to be a good team to watch this year.
Sam
I
likes
like
that.
it. Hey, Jim, before we get you out of here, let's do our Thursday night pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For this week. Of
Dummy.
course, Jim and I with the,
Yeah.
or I guess we all got it right
Maybe
this
talk,
time last week.
Yeah, everybody
49ers,
got
minus 10.5. So everybody had 49ers. So we all got it right, obviously, in this one.
That
So
was
let's talk
really
about
that was a hard one, I tell you.
That was
this
a sweat.
Thursday.
That was a sweat.
This Thursday a little bit more difficult for some. Detroit Lions going against the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau on Thursday night. The spread, we're going to use the spread of minus 1.5 for Detroit. Minus 1.5 for Detroit.
That spread's not a little closer. Or, I mean, not higher
Jim,
for Detroit.
Jim,
No,
before you
it's
pick,
minus
do
1.
not be,
But also plus 1.5, still best bet.
do not be
That's
swayed by the host. Don't be swayed by the host when you make this pick.
You're probably going to go Detroit because of me. I would almost go Detroit.
I mean, I'm going to Detroit because of you. So
We know that. We know that, Tanner.
If I had to bet this game,
And when Jonathan comes on, I got something for you and Jonathan about the Packers. Y'all, you chiming in. Oh, it's you, David Carr, but I'm gonna let Jim get stuff.
you don't
All
even
right.
know who quarterback, dude.
All right,
Who even knows quarterback?
Bro,
You said
let
David Carr.
Jim make his
I'll
pick.
let
David
Jonathan
Carr,
take care of
he
you
gets
later. I'll
All
let
right,
Jonathan
guys.
take care of you in a
It's a great
few.
show.
Okay.
all right, I'll go Detroit. I'm going to go Detroit minus 1.5 just because I think Detroit's the better team, and I think if they win this
They
game,
are.
they're going to
They
win the
are.
division.
I
So,
can't lie about
Yeah. Does it worry you though? Anything about going to Lambeau though?
I mean, look, you're always worried about going to Lambeau. I think if the spread was higher, I'd probably go Green Bay, but I think it's 1.5. I don't really think, I mean, it's. I
Like if
think
it was a 4, 5.5, I'd go Green Bay. As
yeah,
well, but-
absolutely.
It's
But I
a
think
big-
it's a
I'm
point and a
surprised.
half.
I'm surprised it's a pick. I really am. Like, as a Packers fan, if you would have said Detroit, Green Bay, even on a short week, I would have said I would have gave Detroit 3.5. I would have gave plus 3.5 for Green Bay.
I'm
you gotta remember, too.
surprised. I'm surprised that Vegas didn't just give Green Bay the home spread.
Right. Yeah. You got to remember too. Aaron Jones should be back Thursday. Christian Watson will be back Thursday. So they get guys back. They get pizzas back Thursday to go with this game. So this makes sense of it more being a pick 'em just because of the way the offense is going and the defense is somewhat holding up.
We really don't know what those two teams are. And before I get out of here, great weekend in college football if you didn't watch it, by the way.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't want to hear anybody tell me that Notre Dame is still in this playoff picture. They're not. Okay, they lost. They're not. They have no championship game to back up into. The Pac-12, the SEC, the Big 12, the Big 10 have those, and the ACC. There could be multiple teams from two conferences getting in. Notre Dame, I don't care to get one loss. They're going to have two losses after this weekend because I think Duke beats them.
Yes, I think Duke does too. What do you think here, real quick? Just because I'd like to bag on Nick a little bit, but it was a true game.
God.
Penn State, Iowa. Going out.
Get the fuck out of here.
There was no defense for Iowa. And like Penn State, what do you think?
We all knew. Look, I really gave Iowa no shot to win that game just because it's Penn State.
Nobody did. Their offense
did. Their offense sucks. Their offense is awful.
Defense at the beginning.
Look, their offense is awful. Their defense, look, you only can do so much against Penn State in a whiteout in Happy Valley. That was good. Look, do not sleep on Washington State and the Cougars. Man, that team, they're playing for something this year because the Pac-12 is going away. Pac-12 really good. Utah looks good. Oregon, look, Colorado came back to earth. Everybody knew they would. They're going to come back to earth again this week when they play USC. But USC's got to prove they got to stop somebody on defense. So, again, I think Oregon and Washington are the two best teams, but don't sleep on Utah. Texas is Texas, and again, the Big Ten is going to come down to three teams, and it's all out of the East. Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State. Can Ohio State beat Michigan? Yeah, okay. If they do, they go to Big Ten and they're in the playoff. So, and the ACC could come down to Florida State, Duke, somebody. It's just a lot of good football. We're finally in a conference play, and this weekend was just awesome to watch with so many good games on. And,
It's fun.
3 games at 3:30, 3 games at 7:30.
Jim, what the hell happened to Colorado? Let's go.
There's nothing wrong with it, Nick.
There's nothing wrong with Colorado.
Reality is what happened to Colorado, bro.
I know, but I thought they would. I thought at least they'd cover the fucking spread.
No way.
21 points?
You're missing your
before Jim goes,
bro.
Nick, if you watch the game, they could not tackle the Oregon 5'4".
I didn't watch the game because I had shit going on, but I just wanted to know what the fuck.
They could not tackle. They were awful.
He's kissing your ass, Tanner.
He's kissing your ass. He's kissing your ass. Look, I will say that if you look at the basketball schools that are undefeated as football programs, it's actually pretty cool to see. But Oregon, bigger, stronger, faster. They rushed four guys. They were rushing 4 guys all night and getting pressure.
I think I seen something. It was just pretty much like it was really reality that Colorado won 1 game and Oregon. You know what I mean? They're still building that program.
Dude, Oregon was a better team. Everybody knew Oregon going to Eugene. It was going to be tough. Look, the good on the coach for firing his kids up, firing his players up to get them ready to play this game. We're here for wins, not for clicks. We're gonna keep going forward. We're not stopping. Great, because you know what? These coaches are gonna go after Dion for what he says and all this stuff. Eventually, Colorado will be a legit conference contender when they move to the Big 12.
The ingrown hair on my ass is legit, Flo. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, go back to Iowa, Nick.
But the Pac-12 is just too deep. Their Pac-12 schedule is so tough when you have to play Washington, Oregon, and Washington State, Utah, guys like this, USC. Look, they have a chance against USC next week. I don't think they're going to win. But if USC's defense is going to give up what they did to Arizona State, then Colorado has a chance to win.
They got a chance, yeah. I hope so. I
think it's another blowout.
I can't wait until next week in the Pac-12. Oregon plays Washington next week.
Yeah, Washington looks legit too.
Phenomenal.
Hey.
That's going to be a fun game. That's going to be a fun game. Look, the Pac-12 is so deep this year, and it's going to be...
Jim, how the hell is the Pac-12? This is their best year they've had in 10 years, and it's their final year. They're just like, you know what?
Poor management.
We're going out with the bang here.
That's the way it is, and that's why I say do not sleep on Washington State Crimson, man. Those Cougars, the old Crimson, always there at game day. Don't sleep on that team because they're really good at home.
Yep.
Washington looks legit, too, with...
Penix
Michael
Jr.
Penix Jr.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He's awesome. I watched the
It
game
looks
the
like
other
a
night.
Heisman candidate.
Oh, it definitely Heisman candidate.
Yeah.
Love it. Hey, Jim, appreciate you joining us. Thanks for
Thank
hopping
you,
in,
Jim.
talking with
See you,
us here.
Jim.
I can't wait to talk more hockey because we got bets. I know we didn't do it today. We're going to talk bets next Monday. I got it pulled up.
Yeah.
We're going to get this futures done, whether Nick likes it or not. So
If you guys
Full
are
Press
actually
NHL
come to the
podcast,
show on time,
Full Press daily. Go catch it on Apple. Go catch it on Spotify. Jim does a great job on those podcasts.
All right, go Blackhawks and go
on
Sabres.
everything,
Let's
man.
go.
Jim,
Love having you,
are
man.
you the
Love talking to you,
megastar?
Jim. Appreciate
Are
you,
you the
bro.
megastar? That's got everybody saying.
Everybody's saying whose game is it? LA Knights game. Yeah. And it is my show. It is my whatever, Mega Stardom, whatever it is. Just check it out, guys. Appreciate the plugs. I appreciate being here on a Monday night with my maniacs. Love talking whatever it is, hockey, football, it doesn't matter. We always
That's right.
bring the heat here on Monday nights.
Yes, sir.
Damn
Staple. Check it out, guys. Always a pleasure.
Thanks,
Love
Jim.
you, Jim.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, Jim.
Love you, boys.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
See you, dude.
Later.
But by the way, the
Jim
Buccaneers
Biringer.
lost to the Eagles by 8 touchdowns.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
I need it.
Uh-oh.
The sucks. I can't check my fantasy score being on my phone without hanging up. So I just got to.
The,
You
I
want me
don't
to check your fantasy score? You beat Ryan by 7 points.
Nah, I don't.
Congrats.
I know. I won that one. I'm on Big Money League. I was up by like 10 points. I had Chris Godwin. He had Jalen Hurts. So
Oh, well, Godwin fumbled today, so you're looking good.
with the last I checked, and this was right before I came on, I was winning by about 5 points. So I don't fucking know what happened the last quarter there.
Yeah, the Eagles won 25-11. So
Yeah,
Baker
I knew
Mayfield
that.
did
I knew they were
what Baker Mayfield
dominating.
does.
The Bucks got
It was
slapped in
game
the
over.
mouth and came back to
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
All right, let's bring him in, guys.
Oh,
The man of
let
the
me get
hour.
the proper introduction here. Let me
Oh,
give him
sorry,
the proper
sorry.
fucking
Oh,
introduction.
I'll let you know.
We all go,
I was about to say,
should we
yeah,
all-
he needs to
Here
be
we go.
introduced properly, bro.
Should we all
Yeah.
go off the
You don't just
screen
say,
so
let's go
Nick
ahead and bring him
and
in.
Jonathan can have their
Let
little,
me-
little 5
Let
minute
me
back
give
and
him the
forth?
proper introduction. A man who joins us tonight. His baseball team, yeah, it's really fucking good.
Yeah.
In fact, they're the NL East champions. In fact, they're the odds-in favorite to win the fucking World Series. Yeah, his college team, mediocre somewhat. But you know what's not so good? His professional football team. This is a man who made a decided to make a bet with about my Green Bay Packers. And yeah, so what? Their starting quarterback got hurt, Derek Carr. But you know what? If you check the fucking stat line, folks, Jameis and Derek
At least
Carr
you
had
said
the
it right.
exact same stat line minus 1 fucking touchdown that we gave them on a short field. So welcome to the show, a man who's going to be saying "Go Pat, go" for the next 2 fucking weeks, folks. None other than Jonathan Grisham, baby.
John.
What's up, Jonathan?
I tried.
Jonathan,
dude.
thanks for coming. Have a good for the rest of your night.
Jonathan, full disclosure, at halftime, I put the fucking Saints shirt in my Amazon cart, was ready to send it. I was ready to buy it. I fucking quit watching the goddamn game at halftime. I switched to Red Zone. I said, I'm only watching the fucking Red Zone from here on out. Then Jordan Love scores a touchdown. I say, okay, I'm going to go. The Saints have the ball. It's 3rd down. I said, if the Saints get a fucking first down here, I'm going back to the Red Zone. I'm not watching the rest of the game. They stop them. They punt. Green Bay gets the ball, goes down, scores the fucking touchdown. I'm all the way back in, baby. And then, well, Will Lutz kicks, misses the field goal. Packers win, baby, just like I told you they would.
Hey, Nick Jonathan's about to put you that wall in the hotel room behind you. So,
Well, that's your story as far as how the
Not
game
with a newborn,
went.
Ian. Not with a newborn.
and
That's your story on how the game went.
That's exactly how the game went.
So we're going to exclude the fact that, yes, Derek, not David, by the way,
Not David.
Whichever car, brother. Derek, David, they both suck.
did go out. And we had 5 drives in the second half that not a single drive lasted more than 3 minutes. Exhausting the defense. Your team didn't do anything offensively that really got us. It was just the fact that our defense got exhausted
It's kind of
because
like
our
child
offense
time
was
in jail, Ian.
anemic with Jameis Winston, and you could say the numbers were the same. I agree that I can't argue with stats, but the offense did not move the ball. And I'm not blaming Jameis. I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm not blaming Jameis. I'm blaming Pete Carmichael, the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I'm blaming him. I'm not blaming Jameis.
What's up, Sean?
But our offense absolutely just shut it down, hoping the defense can make a couple plays, get some punts, and that didn't happen. So, yeah, hey, Packers won. I don't make excuses as far as trying to say, oh, we didn't lose this game. No, we lost. We lost the game. Packers won it. Packers did. You can share your story on how the game went, and that's fine. But the reality is once
that's how the game went through these eyes, baby. That's how the game went through the lenses of one Nicholas Ryan Bodkins, baby.
Yeah, once Derek Carr
Betty
went down,
Davis eyes.
once Derek Carr went down, that took the sail out of our wins and the domination, and it was a dominating of performance in the first half by the New Orleans Saints.
It was. I'll agree. I admit that. I said, hey, you know what, Jonathan? The problem is I've noticed you. Notice the last two times you talk a little shit a little too early. That's the problem. The Braves beat the Cubs one game, and the Braves beat the Cubs one game, and what happened? We come back.
I should have made popcorn.
You know what? You are right about that, actually.
At halftime, we didn't say anything. I didn't say anything to you the whole game. And then at halftime, you send this Michael Jordan fucking gif of him laughing. The gif of MJ laughing. I said, oh, karma's going to come back to get you, Jonathan Grisham. You talk a little shit, just a little too early, my friend.
You are right about that about me. I will say you are right about that because that's one thing that I know. I believe in superstitions. I'm a very superstitious person myself. I believe in karma, and that was karma on me. I'll take it. I'll fall on that sword for my Saints that I
there
did.
You go.
I'll
the
fall
Saints
on.
Fans, Jonathan. It's Jonathan Grisham's fault. You guys lost. Talked a little shit just a little too early.
Hey Tanner, put Jonathan down for the Lions this Thursday night over the Packers. It's already been made. So
go Pack, go.
Are you saying that because of my shirt color right now? Is that?
There will be. Yes.
Hey, Jonathan, you're gonna look real good in green next weekend. I can't wait till next Monday. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I gotta buy a lot of alcohol.
Your business, Ian.
I gotta buy a lot of rubbing alcohol afterwards because I know that shirt's gonna burn my skin. But
it's a Supreme.
You only have to wear it for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, Jonathan. That's it. So
that's
not the whole show. You got to wear it for the whole show. That's the bet for 2 weeks.
20, 30, 40. It's too long. That's way too long.
We'll keep you on extra. Next Monday, we just might go for.
All right. You know what though? You know what, Nick? It's all right. My Braves. Your Cubs got to come to Atlanta.
They do.
My Braves are going to have my back this week.
I'm not betting on that series. I promise you that.
My Braves are going to have my back this week on your Cubs.
Jonathan's pulling an Allen.
Let's get it, Jonathan.
Jonathan's pulling an Allen.
I was good. Yeah. Call him Allen Jr. We're talking football. He's got to go to his baseball fucking team where he's got the heavier hands.
That must be nice to do.
I'm not betting on that series. Will the Braves rest their players so my Cubs can backdoor their way into the playoffs? Can you call the manager, whoever it is that you need to call in Atlanta and be like, hey,
are you careful right now? To speak to your manager
yesterday.
We still got home field advantage to play for.
You don't need that, Jonathan. You guys are winning the World Series. You guys are in favorite.
Ronald Acuna still has 1 or 2 steals left before he gets to 70. We want.
He can get those steals. Acuna can get his steals. He can win MVP because he's 40-40 guy and all that. But just let us win 2 out of 3, will you? So we can backdoor our way into.
You already did that to me when I was in Scotland. Hell no! You had to try to ruin my trip with all that nonsense about it. Hell no! I want a suite. I got a brother sitting next to my desk right now. I want a damn suite for Dansby Swanson's return to Atlanta.
Just let us backdoor our way in, will you, please?
You guys should go double or nothing on this Cubs Braves series.
No, I will not. No, Scott.
So who do we look at?
Don't do it, Nick.
Who do we look at here?
Nope.
If the Cubbies to backdoor their way, that means Miami didn't win their series to finish out, right? That would be the team. So who do I want the Brewers to play? Who do I want to go watch on a Tuesday and Wednesday next week when I head up to Milwaukee for the series?
And I'll tell you something. Tanner, I watched that D-backs game today, and Jonathan, I watched the D-backs Yankees game today. And the D-backs blew that game again, and that's been the problem all year for them is their bullpen's been awful.
A lot of the NL teams right now.
Yeah, that's the Cubs' problem. Yeah.
So I think Arizona could end up. They got an easy schedule down the stretch, easier schedule. I think they play the White Sox.
We have the Braves, and then we have the Brewers. So I don't like our chances. Really, we're playing two of the better teams.
And aren't you at Braves and at Brewers?
Yeah,
so you're on the road the entire time.
Yeah, we're done at Wrigley. So there's that.
Yeah,
don't like our chances. After the Diamondbacks beat the shit out of us. I was ended the series. I was like, that's it, we're done. We did sweep the Rockies, so it's like every day I wake up, I'm like, hey, we're done. The season's over. But then I'm like, but if we win this fucking game. By God, I'm back in, and that's how I feel.
So 3 teams spot, basically, right? D-backs, Cubs, Marlins.
Yeah.
Which 2 of the 3 get the spot, Jonathan, in your mind?
Sandy Alcantara is done for this season. That's a huge loss for that Marlins pitching staff, and then they've been up and down. I know Sandy has been up and down himself throughout this year, but that's still your ace.
Stop it, Flo.
And so not having him in the rotation for the last week is going to hurt.
I have a quick question. Is Flo Allen's dad or something? Are they like biological brothers?
They're the same. They root for the same teams, Nick.
Are they the same guy?
The same team.
Is Flo Allen? Allen is Flo.
It's a Cowboy Rangers.
I've
guy.
never seen them in the same room together. You know what I mean?
Like, and before Jonathan finishes,
hey Sam, I did them in the room once together, and they was
Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel.
Before Jonathan finishes, I got something for Flo and Allen. So go ahead, Jonathan. Finish it up.
Right now, I don't know how much I trust. I know the Marlins. If you look at the Diamondbacks, Cubs, and Marlins, they're both. Diamondbacks and Marlins are 6-4 their last 10. The Cubs are 4-6 their last 10, but they're on a 3-game win streak. Even with this week, pitching is going to be what matters more. I don't know how much I trust the Marlins pitching right now. And you can flip a coin and say that about all 3 teams. We just got talked about, Scott, you just said that the Diamondbacks blew a game against the Yankees today. So the pitching staff for all these teams are in question is who can be trusted the most in this final week of the season. I don't know how much I trust Marlins pitching right now, especially if you don't have your ace to pitch in one of these games this week. That's a loss. And I guess I said Sandy has not pitched really well all year, but you have a chance when he's on the mound. You have a chance when you have your ace on the mound. You're in it to win. Him not being there hurts. So right now I'm kind of leaning that the Diamondbacks and Cubs are going to take the last 2 spots with the Marlins falling just short because I don't know where their pitching staff's going to be able to go in this final week. Like I said, you could say the same thing about the Diamondbacks. You could say the same thing about the Cubs right now. And it could be just one team figures it out, gets it hot last week, and turns it on. But right now, I'm going to say that the Cubs and the Diamondbacks and Cubs will take that last 2 spots. Marlins falling just short this year.
Jonathan, I want to ask you. Oh, go ahead, Scott. I'll let you go first.
I believe what I heard in the broadcast is the Diamondbacks are headed to Chicago to play the White Sox. So that may get them in just because of who they're playing. The 3 games they play against the White Sox, they take 2 out of 3. I think they're definitely in.
They play the White Sox the next 3, then they got Houston to finish the season.
Yeah.
So
which means,
that's going to be a test. So
Houston's got everything to play for too.
That White Sox series, they have to sweep the White Sox. Diamondbacks will have to sweep the White Sox to give themselves that advantage going into Houston, and they're hoping to at least take 2 or 3 against Houston if they've mailed their season in for there.
I never rooted for the White Sox before, so let's go White Sox. I need you here.
You mean your future Nashville White Sox? Huh?
Maybe. Jonathan,
Marlins are building a new stadium.
I want to ask you about Johnny's Yankees real quick, and Johnny, you can chime in afterwards.
Why?
Every week.
Because there's a list of how to get clicks. Obligatory Yankee talk, obligatory Cowboy talk. So you have to talk about them at least once, right?
You're right.
Obligatory Yankee talk here. If you're Brian Cashman, are you firing Are you firing the manager?
If Cashman has a job at the end of this season, that's gonna be the first question.
Or if you're Steinbrenner, right? If you're one of the Steinbrenners,
I think you need to go to the owners first and say, what do you do as in regards to Cashman first?
Okay, if you're a Steinbrenner, what do you? If I'm putting you as a Steinbrenner, so you're $1 billion. You were born into a $1 billion industry. You're a dumbass, but you're a millionaire because your daddy was, and you haven't done shit besides just follow your daddy's lead. But what would you do?
I would reassign Brian Cashman. You're not going to be able to fire Brian Cashman. You just can't. And I think the Steinbrenner brothers, the Steinbrenner sons, know that that's not what their dad would want, is to be able to fire the guy who basically brought the dynasty back to the Yankees in the 90s and early 2000s. You're going to end up reassigning him as president of or executive president, or some kind of just title where he's in the front office, but he's not making decisions anymore. You're going to bring in a new general manager, which a new general manager will mean a new manager to follow, and I think that's necessary for this team. I think you've reached the ceiling of what this team is under Aaron Boone. They are not a World Series team when Aaron Boone is not a difference maker as a manager with this roster to get them over that hump. We've seen it when they were competitive over a few seasons prior to this year. He was not a difference maker in decision making. The roster itself was a mess and a half, and they were able to at least ride the coattails of Aaron Judge last year to get to where they were. That does fall on Brian Cashman. You have to reassign him, but at the same time, Aaron Boone, if Cashman does stay, I think they need to make a change in manager. Aaron Boone has not been the guy for this group, and he has been a distraction more than he has been a positive, a positive influence on this roster. So Boone should be out of a job, and Johnny can answer this, can kind of point to this part. Don Mattingly probably could be the next manager of the Yankees, and I think that's someone that brings in a home flair, someone who has Yankee ties, that can bring back a little bit more pride to the Yankee pinstripes. Possibly someone like that can come in and be try to be a difference maker with this roster. But a new general manager has to get work on this roster, because this roster, no matter who's managing, is not constructed to win a World Series anytime soon.
Yeah, Brian Cashman will not make that decision. He had an opportunity to hire Don Mattingly, and he went with Joe Girardi before. I think Brian Cashman and Don Mattingly aren't exactly so that would have to be a Steinbrenner decision. Or like Jonathan said, I hope that happens, because Brian Cashman is basically a Steinbrenner. So he's not going to get fired. But I like to reassigning him, get another general manager in there, and then maybe he can bring in Donnie Baseball to possibly be manager. Then you can bring all that back, like you said. But Brian Cashman ain't making that hire.
I would say this: if George was still alive, Brian Cashman and wouldn't have a job, and neither would Boone right now.
Aaron Boone.
It's been 20 years since 2010 was the last time.
2009.
So we're talking 10 plus years, right? I mean, we're almost 15.
Almost 15, bro. Almost 15.
Yeah. Almost 15 years. You think George Steinbrenner would go 15 years without fucking winning a World Series? Absolutely
no,
not.
But he wouldn't have fired Brian Cashman either. He would have reassigned him, just like Jonathan said. He would have just.
He would have made the move, though. What I'm saying is, he would have. The move would have made 5 years ago.
It would have been done.
But that's the problem with the Steinbrenner sons is, and Johnny can attest to this as well, is they don't care.
They're businessmen, bro. They're businessmen. Exactly. They're not fans. Like George was a fan.
Correct. So George cared about winning. George cared about winning. The Steinbrenner sons care about trying to lower the revenue, or lower the expenses to increase the revenue, increase profits, to make sure that the franchise continues to be the most valuable franchise in baseball and one of the top valuable franchises in North American sports.
They're businessmen. They're businessmen.
Exactly. They have the standard of winning has been forgotten by the Steinbrenner sons. Right. And that's where I think George would be more upset about, is the standard of winning would be the standard with George still in charge. But Hank and Hal, they've shown they don't care. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, it's not just it's been over a decade that they haven't won a World Series. They didn't make it to a World Series in over a decade.
Yeah,
so that in itself to a Yankee fan, and I know that, all Yankee fans are more pissed off about not winning a World Series, but let alone not making it to a World Series in over a decade. That is a no-no to the standard of what the Pinstripes were supposed to be and what the history of the Yankees has been. Is you make it to a World Series almost every decade. They have not made it to the last decade, and here we are now, 2023, almost halfway through this decade, and they're not even close to getting to the World Series again.
True.
Sam, hold on. Sam, you got anything to say since people don't seem to think you fucking talk around here, even though we know you do?
Tanner said if I said anything during the baseball segment, I'll get yelled at. Anyway.
What?
No, I'm just kidding, Tanner. It's a joke. It's a joke.
No, it's actually the
no.
truth.
I'm listening. Listen, my limited baseball knowledge. I learn something from Jonathan every week. So I'm learning about the Steinbrenners, which I knew somewhat about, but a whole decade I had no idea about that. That's rough, considering that I know a lot of Yankee fans who are not happy about that.
Yeah, so you could say your Guardians are almost just as bad as.
Oh, they're horrible. They're horrible, dude. But there's no defense.
Well, no, they made it to a World Series this past.
Yeah, they've made it to the World Series a lot closer.
Yeah, they did.
Under a different name. I guess we can't say the old name under a different name. So.
Since we're talking about the Guardians, this is going to be Tito's last year managing.
Scott,
do you think that's going to affect them a lot, depending on who they get to manage?
That's almost the same thing about.
That's my answer too, Jonathan.
This roster has again the roster underperformed and underachieved. Yes. I mean, again, people. And I'm sorry, Alan, this is a shot at you, but people picked them to make it to the World Series, and they had a talented roster.
Those people aren't smart either, so
I didn't say that.
I won't go that direction. I'm going to show.
I will.
I'm going to show.
Not the direction we need to go.
I'll show respect to some of those people on it, but I mean,
there's a certain host on the baseball show that likes the Guardians, so we'll keep his name out of this.
But this roster is talented, though. They were a talented roster. They were, top to bottom offensively was supposed to be one of the best offenses in this division with a pitching staff that could rival the Minnesota Twins, and they completely underperformed and underachieved. So does that fall on the issues that Tito had? Possibly. I'm not blaming Francona, but he had health issues that he was away from that he probably couldn't do the job fully to 100% that we've expected Terry Francona to be able to do. So getting someone who's a little bit younger, I'm sure it's going to be a focal point for the hiring process. Someone who can relate to these guys a little bit more and be able to get this club back in the direction that they were supposed to be, which was competing for a division title.
God, I love that.
And they still kind of hung around. They still hung around a little bit with it. I mean, for a while they were right on the heels of the Twins. And I know this is not the best division in baseball, but they were right around there competitive for a while until the latter half of the season. They just kind of tailed off and the Twins pulled away. So this roster still has something that you can base a competitive team around and be able to compete for a division with a division that's not a good division. So if you can get a younger manager that can kind of spike the offensive side a little bit more, help with get the injuries that they've dealt with. Again, Shane Bieber been out, Tristan McKenzie's been out, a lot of starting pitching's been out. You get healthy again, you can compete with the Twins in 2024. But that's going to be the question. So again, getting a manager that's a little bit is going to be younger. And nothing against Francona, but getting someone who's younger without the health issues that he has might be a beneficial factor for this in 2020.
How much did that impact how much impact did that have Francona having the health issues throughout the season?
I think it had a lot of factor to it because that is your leader, that is the manager, that is a guy that is very respected, not just in that clubhouse but in Major League Baseball. And one of the smartest fans in baseball. So I think that was a big factor in why this club underperformed this year.
Where do you rank? I mean, we're all roughly the same age outside of Scott, who's 40 years older than the rest of us. where do you rank Tino as far as like lifetime, as far as your managers that you have seen? I mean, this guy who's won what, two World Series, took the Indians to another one. So we're talking multiple World Series champions. Broke the curse in Boston, and then So where do you rank him as far as like people you have seen manage this game in your lifetime?
He's top 5. He's easily top 5 manager that I've gotten to see. So in around 30 years of watching baseball, he's a top 5 manager. Again, you factor in he was the guy that was the manager that broke the curse of the Bambino.
Almost broke Indians too, right? Like, I mean, the Cubs Indians, they were game 7. They were
boy, what a night for me! I tell you what.
So he's done things. If you had to go for me personally over the 30 years, Joe Torre, Bobby Cox.
We'll figure it out.
You can go Bruce Bochy for what he's done with the Giants in his career. Francona would be probably around in the 4 range, 4 or 5.
Joe Madden probably right around there. His Angel years kind of hurt him, I think.
I was about to say you would have to put Joe Torre before you put Joe Madden, bro.
Yeah. Joe Torre to me is
Torre's up there. Torre's definitely up there. Like I said, Torre and Bobby Cox are 1 and 2 in my eyes, and
Tony La Russa probably those top 3.
La Russa, yes, for this time in the Cardinals or when he was with the Cardinals. There's something. I mean, we've been in a great age of managers in baseball in 30
really
years.
Has.
I mean, it's the fact that you have to kind of consider who could be a top. And I'm not even including Dusty Baker in that list as well, and where Dusty's still going strong right now. I mean, so we've been in a really almost on a golden age of baseball manager. But Francona, I'd put Francona in the top 5 of the list, in there with a Joe Torre and Bobby Cox. Just because Bruce Bochy, because of the jobs that he has done in the places he's done it. Again, with Boston and with Cleveland right now, and turning that franchise to go to a World Series when they haven't done it in a very, very long time. I mean, he's turned around 2 franchises and made them winners. Terry Francona is a winner. So I'm putting him, as far as in the 30 years, he's a top 5 manager in the era that we've been in.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look what he did a couple years ago to sneak the Indians or the Guardians or whatever you want to call them into the playoffs over the Twins. It was literally a last 3 weeks kind of deal of keeping that team consistent enough and watching the Twins drop off a couple years ago. And I mean, that's just most recent. When he was actually out there healthy or somewhat healthy, but he was out there more times than not. So, like, his managerial skills are phenomenal, and the way he gets his team in the positions they need to be. Or in the past, there was just phenomenal.
Yeah, the way he did it in Boston, it was phenomenal. He was the right guy at the right time. We desperately needed him in Boston because the Grady Little
was the manager right before him.
He's the one that left Pedro in.
Yeah. So we needed a guy that was a steady hand at the time, and fortunately for us, he was good friends with Curt Schilling, so that helped us get Schilling, I think, once Francona got hired, and that set the table for us to go into what we've had the last 14, 15 years in Boston.
It does help that you had again, I know Schilling's not in the Hall of Fame, but he put up Hall of Fame numbers and probably should be in the Hall of Fame. I guess depending on your view of Curt Schilling. But you went from a Hall of Famer in Pedro Martinez to a Hall of Famer-esque in Curt Schilling. And what was supposed to be a transition years, it was from what you had in the late 90s, early 2000s with Pedro, Nomar, Mo Vaughn in the late 90s to where you have with Schilling, David Ortiz,
Euclid,
Mikey Wall.
It's such great core to have.
Hey, man, that Boston team was so fucking good.
Nomar.
Nomar was not on that World Series.
Was he?
They traded him for Cabrera.
That's right. They did trade him. I was really bummed about that.
It was to the Dodgers, right? He got traded to the Dodgers, I believe.
Yeah,
the Cubs. He got traded to the Cubs.
Cubs?
He did go to the Dodgers at one point, I think, after the Cubs.
Is that what it was?
He spent a half a year in Chicago, midway through the 04, 05 season.
Yep.
Let's see. Yeah, I think. So 04-05 season, I believe, or 05 season, they traded him, or 04 season, they traded him halfway through the season to the Cubs.
Yeah.
Because the Cubs in 03 was when the Bartman ball. So next year, everybody picked him to win the World Series.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
It was a complete stunner that they traded Nomar because everybody thought they're not trading him. There's no way he's going. He's Mr. Red Sox. And
because of the comparisons, as shortstop with the Yankees with Jeter, Nomar, and Boston, it was going to be both of them were going to finish their career with their teams. It was going to be the rivalry of Nomar and Jeter. Yeah, I remember that. I mean, I know I was young at that point, but I remember how shocking that. I remember, just breaking news alerts on SportsCenter. Nomar Garcia Parra has been traded, and it was just like, what?
That was wild. That was wild.
What the heck's going on? It's so nice.
It was the Red Sox got Orlando Cabrera, who was self out off the Expos.
They got
Gonzalez to the Expos, or at that time, I think they're still with the Expos. Even weren't the Nationals quite yet.
I don't think they were the Nationals just yet.
They got Orlando Cabrera, Doug Mankiewicz, and then they got Dave Roberts in a separate trade. And if you remember, Dave Roberts was the guy that stole the base in Game 4.
And
Robert.
The pieces that fall together, man. Pieces that fall together.
Well, we talked about Scott. We talked about this with Scott and Alan last week. Just the amount of luck, and we're kind of going a little bit off topic, I'm sure, but it's what's going with the Red Sox. But the amount of luck they had, that team had, because we said this about David Ortiz. David Ortiz was absolutely one of the worst hitters in baseball with the Minnesota Twins.
Yep,
he was,
and just something clicked in Boston. Manny Ramirez ran himself out of Cleveland. Was it the clear? Was it the clear or the other one? Was it the clear or the was it the clear cream or I don't know. I don't know on that one. I won't speak what I don't know. But I mean, again, when you talk about Manny Ramirez ran himself out of Cleveland to go to Boston.
It wasn't just ran himself out. Boston offered gave him a shit ton of fucking money to run himself out.
Well, not only that, but that was one of those George Steinbrenner didn't want to give him the money.
Correct.
He wanted to be a Yankee.
George
didn't want to give him the money.
I just don't think Manny fits in. Manny would never have fit in.
Manny would have crushed it in New York, bro.
I don't think he fits in. No, I don't think he would have fit in.
I don't think he had the mindset,
bro. He can hit, bro. And he was a phenomenal hitter. The Yankee fans would have loved him.
The mentality to go to New York.
The mentality, attitude, he would have been this generation's Reggie Jackson to the Yankees based off of how he handled himself in New York. I think Manny would have been the same way, but probably not as productive that Reggie was in his time in New York. I think there would have been a lot more headaches with Manny in New York because of being outspoken that he was, to George not putting up with stuff like that. I don't think that dynamic would work. The dynamic worked in Boston because it was the blue collar-esque, that feeling of blue collar mentality in Boston that was just grinded out type of, hey, we're the anti-Yankee establishment type of mindset. Johnny Damon with the hair growing out. Again, Johnny Damon, who didn't do a lot really well. It didn't do a lot in Kansas City. I mean, Tanner, you can attest to that, right? He was not really all that great. Goes to Boston, and it
was his beginning too, right? It was his start.
Yes,
which is the growth. I mean, that's where he started getting better, and then we didn't want to pay him money because he wasn't that good.
Correct.
And then he left for Boston.
So just so many snowballs that just went Boston's way with that group, and just falling on the right pieces at the right time of the guy's career at that time as well. It all fit in, but it was luck too that that had to play a part, that those pieces worked. I'm no different with my Braves in 2021. You think that we really trusted Jorge Soler, Jock Peterson, Eddie Rosario, and Adam Duvall to come in and step in for Ronald Acuna? No, but it was luck that you had the right pieces at the right time at the right part of the season to do what they did. The Red Sox in 2004 was that team that just made the right moves at the right times, and it worked out for them.
Yeah.
And if you remember, Kevin Millar was in Japan, and they had to pry him out of Japan to get him to come back and play for Boston. And that's another piece that fell into place for them to allow them to win. win the World Series.
A big thing in that series, though, was Wakefield pitching all those innings in Game 3 when the Yankees beat the hell out of them, and he took it and he just kept pitching to save the bullpen, and that saved the pitching staff because you know what I'm saying the Yankees were beating up on Boston those first 3 games, and then once you guys won that Game 4. All your pitchers started lining up, and it was like, oh shit.
Isn't it funny also to kind of think back the mentality back then? Like a perfect example of saying like Wakefield just ate the innings. Yep. When knew that they were going to lose, but he stood out there and just said, I'm going to go ahead and just eat the innings for my team. But we had George Kirby just a couple weeks ago say, why did they pitch me in the 7th inning?
Yeah.
Back in the 7th inning. I was done in the 6th, and they put me back out there. Such a different mentality that it was 20 years ago to where we are today. But these guys they're basically wanting to only pitch 5 innings and then be done as a starting pitcher.
The fact that that's 20 years ago makes me feel, goddamn, Scott's got to feel 80.
Unbelievable.
Feel old.
but the thing, here's the thing.
The one guy that said, hey, they kept me out there too long.
That was really? Kirby. Yeah, that's Kirby.
Yeah. Like what?
You better pry the ball out of my hand.
You want to be out there that long. You want to.
You want to take me out of a ball game, you better pry the ball out of my hand. If you want to put a pinch hitter out for me when I played, you better take the bat out of my hand.
My arm better be off, like completely out and out.
2 things about that Red Sox team. 1, Derek Lowe clinched the ALDS, the ALCS, and the World Series. No other pitcher's done that, I don't think, in baseball history. Clinched three different playoff games to win the World Series. Number 2, that was an emotional time in Boston. I mean, nobody ever thought we'd ever see a World Series championship come to Boston.
I was glad you guys swept the Cardinals. I was glad you guys took out the Cardinals in that.
The Cardinals had no chance, bro.
They had no chance, bro. No chance. And I'm sure. I think all Cardinal fans knew they had no chance, right? Like. After what they did to the Yankees in that series, all the Cardinal fans said, I was in high school at the time. All my friends are Cardinal fans. And they're like, they wanted to believe, but they knew there was no fucking chance. Just chance to win in that series.
Agreed. Totally agree.
See, but that's the difference, guys. Boston spent money. They've been competitive. Chicago spent some money. They've been competitive. You think I expected to win the World Series in 14 and 15 with the Kansas City Royals? Hadn't won since our winning record since '88.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a complete shock? I didn't know what to do.
I can relate with my Saints when they won the Super Bowl. I can relate to that.
Yeah. Did they have Salvi? Did they have Perez on those teams?
Yeah, Salvi was the leader.
Yeah. He was
the
only
like
one left. Second. He's the only one left. Yeah.
He's the only one left.
That's what I thought.
One is the loneliest number that you ever done.
Jonathan, I meant to ask you this last week, and we'll get you out of here on this. Does Shohei Ohtani play his last game as an Angel?
Yeah. We know that thing.
Oh yeah.
And where
are you working for ESPN again? Get out of ESPN because you're asking those questions.
I wish I'd worked for ESPN. I mean, if I worked for ESPN, we all be working for ESPN, motherfucker.
Maybe Stephen A. You with Stephen A.
Hey, Stephen A. don't want none of the Bodkins, baby. He don't want none of this.
Can you imagine? Oh shit. John, before you go, we need your pick for Thursday too, bro.
All of a sudden, we'll turn the TV on and there'll be Nick across from Stephen A. on First Take.
Who yells louder?
Oh, it's Nick all day.
If you met my family, the reason you guys don't, I'm an only child, but my dad's family is so fucking loud. Like my dad's 7 brothers and 7 sisters. So when they get together, it literally is who's the fucking loudest. So that's why that's where I get it from. It's who's the fuking the loudest.
Yeah, you damn Midwesterners.
Yeah, it happens.
You damn youngins. You should all be quiet sometime.
Are you gonna be Scott? Are you the Green Bay Packers bro? That was like all the old people that kept calling security because they would stand up in front of them.
Yeah, I've been to a concert like that.
That was me.
I'll take as a Chiefs. So my brother, funny story. My brother was doing the minor leagues for Seattle down in Arizona. He went to a Chiefs Arizona game, right? Well, in case you haven't gone to Arrowhead, everybody, you stand up and you yell and
That's
you're
right.
loud. Like that's just what happens.
Yep.
He was up there in Arizona, and he was like closer to the top, right? He didn't get good tickets. Like he was to the top. There wasn't a lot of people there. And he was just in this one little part of the crowd that actually was there. And he stood up. He was yelling, and the security had to come by and say, "Hey, you guys keep sitting down and be quiet a little bit, because we can't have that much noise."
I'm at a sporting event. I'm at a sporting event.
He didn't know how to
Yeah,
react. Never heard of it in my life till then.
That's wild.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Packers.
Jonathan, it's a pick'em game.
Your fans trying to ruin the experience of a football game. Come on now, you old.
Yeah, Jonathan.
Put them in the home. Get them out of a football
Jonathan.
stadium.
No. You know who those were, right? Those were part of the original owners of the Green Bay Packers sitting in that row. That's not all there is right now.
Hey, it's a pick'em game.
They're like, oh yeah, we'll give it back.
It's a pick'em game on Thursday. Detroit, Green Bay. You can go against Green Bay for the second time if you want, but I believe Detroit is favored. Is it favored by -1.5?
-1.5 is the line we're using. Detroit -1.5.
So it's pretty much a pick'em game Thursday. Who you like, Green Bay or Detroit Thursday night?
So which as well, since it's at
Lambeau Field.
So essentially, because I know if I remember correctly, from the things I've read, Vegas essentially gives home field advantage 3 points. So they're really Lions are favored by 4 if you go by what Vegas views home field advantage.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be as far as what my anti-Packers because they beat my Saints, and again I said it, beat my Saints.
There you go. I can't wait to see you agree next.
Even though we lost our quarterback, even though we did lose our quarterback, I'm not making excuses. We lost the game. End of story. All right.
Good for you.
I like it.
But I will say, I was not impressed, even in the second half, of what that Packers did. I was not impressed with what they did. Lions,
I'll agree. They did not play great. I'll be the first one to tell you, we played like shit.
Lions have been playing really well. And they, again, especially you go back to the week 1 against what they did on the road in Kansas City, which is impressive to do. So they're not going to be intimidated by a road game at Lambeau if they went to one of the hardest places to play football on the road. So that tells me, again, what Vegas is seeing is that this team is better than what the spread is. So I'm going with the Detroit Lions. Screw the Green Bay Packers. I'm sorry, I gotta get that shot in there. But I'm going with the Detroit Lions to win the game. Obviously, since it's +1, I obviously cover the spread on it and to be able to win the game. So I'm going Detroit Lions.
Fair enough.
Love
Fair
it.
enough.
Love it.
All right. Josh,
Hey, by the way, next
What?
Monday we talk playoff baseball. Next Monday we
Yep.
talk playoff baseball.
Yeah.
Oh, my favorite time. My favorite is only. I'm a summer person. I'm born in June, so I'm summer by heart. Love the heat and everything. The only thing that I actually like about fall, and I know football, I love my Saints and everything, but fall weather only means one thing.
Hey, hold on, Jonathan. I don't mean to break you up. Did little Johnny Cruz break up with his girlfriend? We ain't seen a comment in little Johnny Cruz in almost a year.
He's
been waiting for you, bro. He's been
like,
waiting for you.
Jonathan's I got the night off. I'm gonna go make my return. Hawkins is on.
Where has he been? I've missed little Cruz.
Nick. It's
said.
called We
Get
Scored
the guest
70
off
points. I'm gonna get all my Tua comments out now.
You're right. Hey,
He's been on tour the whole time, man. You gotta give him that.
Since you rudely
I gave
interrupted
him that.
Jonathan, playoff baseball Monday. I know we got a lot to talk about from that. I plan on hitting up the Brewers next week as well. Heading up to Milwaukee to watch a couple games. So
Nice.
gotta support. It's a proud moment. So
right.
what are you thinking here?
This is the only time I actually enjoy fall weather. Again, I love football. I love my Saints, but fall means one thing to me, and that means postseason baseball, October baseball. Again, my opinion, it is the best postseason in sports, and I'll take that over the NBA Finals. I'll take that over NFL playoffs. I will take it over the Stanley Cup playoffs. I will take postseason baseball over any postseason there is in North American sports. I love it. It's my favorite time of the year, especially when my Atlanta Braves are going to be the #1 seed and the World Series favorites.
I mean, it helps if your team's in it, right? At least I got relation on this, but it helps if your team's in it too.
Yeah, it helps if your team's in it. Yeah.
I got bottles of champagne waiting for each round.
Hey, hopefully my Cubs join your Braves. Take it easy on us this next 3 games, Jonathan. We'll see you next Monday, brother.
Does anybody know when the Red Sox are playing in the playoffs?
Hey, next year, Scott. Next year.
Harsh.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Jonathan, we appreciate you. We'll see you next
Jonathan.
Monday, brother.
As always, guys, appreciate it.
Hey, I can't wait to see you in green next Monday, brother.
You got to ruin my week already like that now. Come on. See you guys.
See you, buddy.
Bye, bro. Let's get to our Thursday night picks, and then I guess Sam's gonna do an ad read.
I gave it to Johnny. I have no idea.
Nah, you got it, Sam. You got it.
No,
Sam.
go get him, Johnny. I'm ready.
He got it. All right, I gotta let people know about Sports Creator. Sports betting has rapidly risen in popularity, and I want to connect you all with an opportunity to get started or to get ahead. Having multiple sportsbook accounts is the most simple way to maximize your profits, and there has never been a better time to sign up. When you visit our page, signupexpert.com/let's talk, you'll be connected to all the sports books in your region, along with a review of each platform and its unique benefits. All of these sports books have valuable sign-up offers for new users, and when you register through our link, you will automatically receive the top offer at each one. When you use multiple sports books, you ensure that you can always access the best available odds, which is key to successful sports betting. If you want to take advantage of these benefits and support our brand, please consider signing up for your next sportsbook at signupexpert.com/let's talk.
Beautiful.
Hey, let's get to our Thursday night picks and our final goodbyes. Johnny, we'll start with you.
I want to pick your Packers, bro, but I'm gonna have to go with Detroit. It's just, 1.5. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna have to, bro. I'm gonna have to go with Detroit. They're playing well. I'll take.
Yeah,
Detroit.
we know, we got you. Yeah.
Hey, I've been the biggest Jordan Love supporter.
Hey, Johnny, I will give you credit. From day one, since I think we ever talked, you said, "Hey, Jordan Love's going to be okay. You're going to be okay with Jordan Love." I will give you 1,001% credit on Jordan Love credit. I will say that.
I may be the outlier here, except of our host. Aaron Jones should be back Thursday night. That makes all the difference in the world for that offense. I'm taking the Packers.
Woo, Scotty, I like it. Sam, you well.
So that threw me off. I don't know why. It's a division game. Division games are always hard. Can Detroit step up to the plate? Well, I guess we'll find out. But until then, I need to be proven wrong when it comes to them. So I'm going to say the Packers are going to win that game.
Oh, shit, I don't like that already. All right. Tanner, we already know who you got, so we'll just move on to me. And
what do you got, Nick?
Now, go ahead, Tanner. I'll concede to you.
You already know what I got. So
yeah, you already know who I got.
1, 2, 3, 4 exclamation points.
Your shitty ass analysis first.
Oh, I don't have analysis. Jordan Love sucks and Green Bay
You're
sucks.
haterade.
Give me
You're
the Lions
haterade.
-1.5. I'm
You're
gonna stand
haterade.
by it till they get the 6 or 5, 4 wins, whatever.
4 wins. You 4 wins.
Four
We're 2
wins.
wins away, Tanner.
Hey,
2
2
wins
wins
away.
away, baby.
It's Detroit.
Prove me wrong.
It's
Two
Detroit.
wins
By the way, what, Nick? What do you think of these? Like, what if Kirk Cousins leaves the Minnesota Vikings? Like, what if somehow they actually do some kind of trade, like Jets or something like that, and you have who is it? What's his face from San Francisco? Nick Mullins as your starting quarterback with the Minnesota Vikings. Like, I feel like your chances just went from like 3 wins to like 6 wins.
I feel pretty good about it. Well, I mean, that's you. I feel like we're going to win 9 to 10 wins.
He tried you right there, dude.
Actually,
Good old.
sorry,
He's only go from 3 to 6.
I'll give you 7 wins because Justin Fields is awful.
Well, too bad. The bet's
Shouldn't be
been
around.
made, Tanner. The bet has been made. The bet.
Oh, I know. I'm fine. I'm cool with it. I still gotta find my cheesehead. I'll put a little bit
Bro,
more.
you better
effort
be
into it.
looking for it. Because guess what's going to happen? We're going to get our third fucking win on Thursday night. That's right, baby. The Packers, we're getting Aaron Jones back. We're a completely different team with AJ back there. You know what? Say what you want about Jordan fucking Love. That team rallied around him in the fourth fucking quarter. He ran and did some moves in that fourth quarter that was like, hey, you know what? Fuck it. We got a guy. This is a guy. I don't want to hear about everybody wants to bash this kid from here on out, from all these haters that don't want to believe in him. But you know what? Jordan Love, you made this guy a believer. And by God, we're going Green Bay to win on Thursday night. Detroit's good. I'll admit Detroit is good, but let's get the revenge game. They kicked us out of the playoffs last year. This is a revenge game. We get Aaron Jones back. We get Christian Watson back. Romeo Doubs. I mean, by God, that kid looks like a real deal too. I'm all in. Let's go Green Bay. You know what it is. We're winning this fucking game on Thursday, motherfuckers. Let's go.
Bud. Get it.
Johnny,
you almost convinced me to switch, bro.
Hey, I'll rally the
Don't
troops.
be
Hey,
weak
call
like
me in the
that,
Lambeau
dude. Don't
Field.
be weak like that. Stay strong.
I'm not.
Stay strong,
staying
Johnny.
with Detroit. I'm
Trust
staying
your
with
gut.
Detroit. Detroit's playing well.
Green Bay
Hey,
sucks.
Green Bay, call me and I'll rally the troops up on I'll give the good game, pregame speech, baby. I'll give the pregame speech.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, I like the way Jordan Love's been playing, and I'm with you. He did rally the troops this last game. He made the plays that he needed to make to win the game. He put his team in position to win the game, and they won the game. But I like Detroit. I think Detroit's gonna go in there and win this game.
All right, you got any final thoughts, Johnny, before we get out of here?
No, just a quick shout out to the man, the myth, the legend, the one that started all of this, Mr. Dan Harris. All the prayers, good thoughts, positive vibes, anything you can send out to his way, please do it. He's fighting, he's being strong. I love you, bud. I miss you. You know what I'm saying? And we will see each other again, and we will do our best to represent you the best way possible we can here, man.
Scott.
We have two Cowboys fans in the comment section tonight. Alan Perales and Flo.
Here we go.
Woo! No mention of the Cowboys tonight. What's going on? Oh, that's right. They lost to a bottom 5 team this week in Arizona. That Cowboys fan base is the total front runner of the NFL. They're the worst fan base in the NFL. I wish you guys had the whole season. Stop talking about your Cowboys like we talk about our Packers, Patriots, Dolphins, Titans, Chiefs. Win or lose, we're here to talk about them and take the slings and arrows. Guess what, Alan and Flo? You guys aren't going anywhere this year because you guys have a head coach that holds you back completely. So guess what? And on Twitter today, no mention about the Cowboys. Zero mention. When they win,
they were talking about the Rangers, Scott. They were talking about the Rangers.
Yeah, I know that. When they win, they're all out there. When they lose, they're very quiet. I wonder why. No, you didn't, Flo. You talked about everything else but the Cowboys, Flo. You didn't talk about the Cowboys.
He talked about it on his show.
On his show. Not about them on his show. I did tune in a little
bit. I heard some Cowboy talk. I can justify it.
Alan, same way. No comment on the Cowboys. Guess what, guys? You're the worst fan base in the NFL. You're total front runners.
Yeah, Tanner can run for office, bro. Tanner can run for office, bro.
God dang. You lost to a franchise that's trying to take Flo.
Hey, Sam, I'm gonna let you follow that. I don't know how you follow that heat. Scott bringing.
There ain't no following that heat. If I follow that heat, my ear's gonna get burned off. You know what I mean?
To the Rangers very quickly.
Go ahead and bring the show back up, Scott or Sam, with your positivity. You can talk baseball. Everybody thinks you don't talk around here, but we love you.
So, positivity. Positivity is this. Like, it doesn't look like my Titans are going to have a good season, but I'm going to sit there and I'm going to watch them and I'm going to cheer for them the entire way through. It's what being a fan's all about, right? I'm a diehard. I've been following this team. And I can honestly tell you, I've seen worse. I've seen way worse. And, some people will try, like some guys at work tried to make me feel bad about it. Especially, I'm sure we all have this guy at work, right? What's he say? What happened to your Titans? What happened to your Packers? What happened? And it's just like, people will do anything.
And you're like, what team do you root for? And they're like, I don't watch the NFL.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. They were. To be fair, they were Cowboys fans, and I said, "Shut up, you lost. Get the fuck out of here." So it's all part of it. Take the slings and arrows; they're just words. Ain't gonna hurt you.
Ride or die, man. You gotta be ride or die.
Straight.
Amen.
Damn
Amen.
straight.
Amen. Amen.
You gotta be out there when you win. You gotta be out there when you lose.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right, Nick.
No, they don't.
Tanner, you got any final thoughts?
Stop it. Stop what you're doing.
Yeah, hang on. I'm typing out Nick's Cubs eulogy right now. Hang on.
My eulogy. You typing out my eulogy.
All right, anyways, guys.
He's a beautiful man. I loved him.
Hey, same with Johnny. Shout out Dan, of course. Always thinking about him. Always try to message him once a day, even if he doesn't respond. So
hey, Scott.
Make sure he's aware. Look. Guys, in case you didn't catch my Facebook and Twitter post last night, make sure you guys please email me if you're interested. If you are on the network now or want to be on the network or be part of this here,
yes.
We are doing some things. We will have some changes. There will be stuff going on. Starting 10-1 is when it all starts dropping. Obviously nothing big right now, but we're working to it. I'll have some more info. I'll have some more updates as I go about it. I got a newsletter to drop for you guys as well with some updates, analytics, stuff like that, some news. So please email me at letstalksports.tanner@gmail.com. Tell me you're interested in staying with the Let's Talk Sports Network or being part of the Let's Talk Sports Network as a podcaster. We're happy to have you. We're able to work some stuff, and I got tons of ideas to navigate on our goal to be a full-out network here. So email me. Please make sure you guys do that and spread the word if you haven't already. Also, guys, the Kansas Jayhawks are on number 24.
Oh, good God.
Oh, God. Shut up.
Get at me. Where's Iowa?
Tanner, I don't talk, but I would love to be part of the network.
What are you talking about, dude?
Get the fuck out of here.
BYU.
Guys, Tanner, I have a question. We don't have enough Cowboys talk on this platform.
Oh,
you think we
man.
could?
We talk about the Cowboys at least once. We have to talk about the Cowboys at least once every
Nick,
episode.
go ahead and talk.
I
muted Scott because he was talking Cowboys again.
We talk to Cowboys at least once every episode. It's obligatory Cowboy talk. We got
That's
to.
right.
This.
That's right. Oh Lord.
So my final thoughts here is I really do. I love you guys. I love this network built by.
Yeah, but you love one of us more.
No, I mean Dan Harris built this network.
I don't want to kill you.
He
not after that comment today.
Yeah. Who's game time?
That's Bobby.
It's Bobby.
Oh. Bobby.
Yeah, after his toupee comment, he's officially back in.
Oh, I wouldn't say Bobby G. So fuck that guy. Anyway, no, I love you, Bobby G. I'm just fucking with you. I love you. I love this network. We wouldn't be able to do this without Dan Harris. He put this network together and it's created this crazy thing. And then Tanner's beautiful fucking brain decided, you know what? Let's make a Let's Talk Sports show and put the fucking five of us together, which was a dumbass idea, but here we are every Monday. So I really appreciate everybody that's ever come on this show, on this network, all the comments and posts. We talk a lot of shit, but that's just what we do. We kid because we love, and we talk shit because we love. If we don't talk shit and don't say shit to you, it's because we don't like you. At least me. I can only speak for myself. Everybody else, I can't speak for. But if I talk shit to you, it's because I like you. But everybody else these four guys busted our ass. Tanner's in the scenes, behind the scenes. We talk a lot of shit on air, but behind the scenes, this guy's putting things together and doing a great work. And
he's working hard, bro.
Yes, it's busting his ass. It's doing things that my fucking brain can't fucking do. But I believe in him, and he believes in me for some fucking dumbass reason. Johnny, me and you have fucking since day one have had this chemistry and we've worked well together. Same with Scott. Scott's got this big brain for fucking gambling and things like that. And Sam has got this fucking energy that even why people don't think he fucking talks, he brings us up when we every day, and it's got some good shit to say. So I believe in all 5 of us that we're, and in this network. And if you continue to tune in, you're going to enjoy it. I promise you. Every fucking Monday, Thursday, and Sunday, I promise you're going to enjoy it and have some good laughs. We appreciate Dan Harris to the fullest, the very fucking fullest. He built this network. This is a guy who believed in himself and built this thing and believed in other people, believed in all 5 of us at one time. So we will continue to believe in each other and believe in this network and to build it to greater new heights and dedicate every show, everything we do to the one and only Dan Harris. That's it. That's the show, folks. We will be back Thursday night, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern, for our Thursday night pick'em sheet. We'll pick all the games week 4 spread. We'll have the new updated records. I think I did pretty well this week. I think Johnny did too. I don't know how many.
I did too until these damn 2 Monday night games.
Yeah, these 2 Monday night games absolutely suck.
You know
we
it,
all hate them.
Come on.
Get back to one game. We love it. We'll see y'all Thursday night. Be afraid, tell a friend, like, subscribe, share. Tanner, hit that outro, baby.
One life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stain from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep, only scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no.